Middays with Marks, 97.5, The Fanatic, the host you trust, the show you trust. I am your host, John Marks. Good morning to everybody listening on 97.5 FM. Old-fashioned style radio. We still do it, everybody. On the Fanatic app. Good morning, everybody listening on the Fanatic app. Watching live on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Also, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button when you're listening. Hit the thumbs up button. Bam! That helps us. But subscribe to 97.5 The Fanatic. Our numbers have been going up very, very good. So we appreciate that. We say good morning to Ray Dunn. Good morning, Raymond.
Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
Could today be the day? Hashtag go get Bo.
Could be.
Hashtag walk with Ray.
I'm fired up for that.
All right. We say good morning. Second time this week. Looking like a mountain man.
That?
His name's Jason Bertitas, JM.
What's going on, man? You're shot out of a cannon or a tree stand.
So if you're saying you're watching on YouTube, people are probably commenting on my attire today.
They haven't even seen the whole thing yet.
If I stand up, will people be able to see it on YouTube?
I think so. Stand up.
So hold on. So
on your
we'll
chair.
do this again later. I'm not going to stand on the chair.
I got to see.
And I'm not a hunter, and I was not slaughtering animals.
If you back into that corner, they'll be able to see your drawers.
All right, let me see. I have to describe for the audio.
Yeah, so John's backing into the corner because he's wearing what looks like Bobby Bacala in the Pine Barrens episode when he went to go find Paulie and Chrissy. You're in full head-to-toe camo.
It's not camo.
That's not camo?
Okay, it is, but it's Nike. This is the jumpsuit. It's a windsuit.
Yeah, you can see it.
It's a windsuit. I got this
What are you
on
going
the
to jump out of a
Nike
plane?
app.
What are you, in the airborne?
This is what the cool kids are wearing these days.
You're not a kid.
I know, but I pull it off. That's the difference.
Ray, does he pull it off?
I don't think anyone could pull that off.
Take a picture during the break and put it on friggin' Twitter and see if I pull it off. Put it on the Fanatic Twitter and say, do I pull this off? I think I look great.
You're
My
going
wife
to
disagrees. My wife disagrees.
What'd your wife say?
What do you think she said?
You look like an idiot.
When I bought it, I tried it on for my kids, and they're like, yeah, mommy's not going to like that. My oldest daughter thinks it's cool. My middle daughter's rolling her eyes, and then my little girl, she loves everything I do, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, you could be wearing a Superman outfit.
All right, more on that coming up later on, because Jason Bertitas is today the day. Hashtag go get Bo. Bo Bichette, does he sign with the Phillies today? So Kyle Tucker signs with the Dodgers last night. Everybody always suspect the Dodgers, but then you're like, well, the Dodgers they're not really going to sign Kyle Tucker. Not only did they sign Kyle Tucker, 4 years, $240 million.
That's insane.
$60 million a year. There's opt-outs after the second and the third year. Some of the money is deferred, but that doesn't mean it's deferred for the luxury tax. So just to keep it simple, not to get into the weeds too much, there's no salary cap in baseball, but a lot of teams will only spend so much money because after that, they get taxed. So, for example, because of how much money the Dodgers spend, this Kyle Tucker contract this year is going to cost them north of $120 million. Kyle Tucker is $122 million for this year. And unless the Dodgers shrink their salary next year, they're going to be paying him He won't get $120 million, but the Dodgers will have to pay $120 million because of this contract.
Luxury tax, yes.
Because of the luxury tax.
Yeah.
$120 million for a player?
Well, they don't care. Their economics support it. They still make tons of money.
It's so bad for
it's
baseball.
the haves and the have-nots, John. You know that.
No, but there's the haves and it's the Dodgers and everybody else.
It's seemingly so right now. It used to be the Yankees and everybody else. Now it's the Dodgers.
And I'm not – the Phillies spend a ton of money, so I'm not – it's what – remember Bryce Harper last year had said that, like, I'm not – what did he say, Ray?
He wanted to renegotiate his deal.
No. He was being asked about the Dodgers and salary and stuff like that, and he's like Phillies spend a lot of money. He's like, I'm not going to sit here and complain about the Dodgers spending a lot of money. The Phillies spend a lot of money. Look how their roster's constructed.
Yeah.
Go out and pay everybody. They're going to do it again with Bo Bichette. I mean, Jesus, they're spending a ton of money.
Trey Turner.
Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. They spent money on Castellanos. Zach Wheeler's making $42 million a year.
Yeah.
They spend money on everybody. This isn't a farm system rich team that they built through the farm system. There's a couple pieces, but they've built through free agency and signing guys. The Dodgers are a totally different animal.
It's a different. They're in like the soccer league with their paying guys.
It's unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
No,
EPL.
it's Premier League.
Yeah.
It is. So this is like everybody said this morning, and I totally agree. This is going to cause the lockout because the teams that their payrolls are barely what Tucker's even going to make this year.
Yeah.
I think 12 teams have a payroll of what the Dodgers are going to pay for Tucker this year.
For one player.
For one player. Their whole payroll.
Insane.
And that's a problem.
It's such a competitive advantage that the other teams need to stand up and say, we need to get this under control. Now, the economics of baseball are still on the rise and they can support this because of revenue sharing. But how are you supposed to compete when a team goes to these lengths? Because even though there's revenue sharing, they're still head and shoulders above everybody economically. You can't compete.
Is there anybody? So let's move to Bo Bichette because Toronto. Everybody thought Toronto was going to get Kyle Tucker because, as everybody said yesterday, Ray, we were playing the sound and we were talking about it. Toronto's going to be willing to offer more money. They're going to be willing to offer more years. They really, really want Tucker. That's how they're going to get him. And then the Dodgers come in and offer this contract. So now what's everybody saying about Bo Bichette? Oh, there's nobody that's going to offer more years. Oh, there's nobody that's going to offer more money. So I'm worried that there is a team out there that's going to offer more money and more years.
You think Toronto will?
That's where he's coming from.
I mean, yeah, and they had a magical season, obviously.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a lot
Canadian dollar is an issue.
There's a lot of reasons to believe he doesn't. If all else is equal, he doesn't want to sign up there. They play on artificial turf.
It's not equal because the American dollar is 70 cents there.
Right, but I think when we talk about the money they're offering, that's in American dollars. That's not Canadian dollars. So if they're talking about offering $100 million, that's $100 American dollars, $100 million American dollars. But anyway, everybody else seems to think that the Phillies are still the favorite. Can we play Ken Rosenthal? Ken Rosenthal on the favorites to land Bo Bichette.
I don't expect them to sign Bo Bichette. I have not expected it the entire offseason.
This is Toronto.
Yes, they have money that they would have devoted to Kyle Tucker that they could now redirect to Bo Bichette, but I still believe rather strongly that Bo Bichette's going to end up with the Philadelphia Phillies.
There you go.
That's twice now he said this.
And that's a freshie from last night. That's after Tucker. So that's from a freshie from last night.
That's an up-to-date report based on Tucker signing with the Dodgers.
Correct.
Oh my.
Does it happen today? Jason, first of all, do you think that this is I was on the air for Bryce Harper when he got signed. God, it would be great if it happened before 2 p.m. today.
Yeah.
do you fully expect this to happen?
I do because we talked about it on Wednesday, that they were trying to find that middle ground, basically was being reported, of years and salary and shorter term versus longer term. And with Tucker signing last night, the trickle-down effect is now you know that Tucker's going to the Dodgers. Now the Phillies have to strike and get it done. Look, negotiations are all about deadlines. That's when things happen. And this has now become the deadline because a huge domino fell last night.
Yep.
So I do believe it will happen. Will it happen before 2? It damn well better.
You're damn right it should. Yeah, but like you had said, and I was thinking it last night. I'm like, someone's going to sign and it's going to then set up the rest of the offseason.
Yeah, then it just trickle down. Then you start to see other things happen. You have to wait for one domino to fall for 6 others to fall in succession after that because of Plan Bs.
So apparently, Cody Bellinger, it's going to be the Mets and the Yankees kind of bidding against each other to get Bellinger. He's going to end up making a lot more money than he probably should. He's a good player. But Kyle Tucker is I'm reading John Heyman, making more than 50% more than Aaron Judge. Kyle Tucker is a good player. Kyle Tucker is an all-star level player. Kyle Tucker has hit 300 0 times in his career.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker has hit 30 home runs twice, exactly 30 home runs. He's never hit more than 30 home runs. Kyle Tucker is a good player. Kyle Tucker is an all-star level player. Aaron Judge is a 300 hitter, a 60 home run guy.
Bombs.
Yeah, that's who deserves to make $60 million a year.
Well, first of all, nobody deserves to make $60 million a year, first of all. But in their economics, I'll agree with you. $60 million.
Does this affect how much Bo Bichette makes a year?
Absolutely. It sets the market.
Man.
The market's always going up. You got comparables. Absolutely.
The Mets offered.
Bichette has hit 300.
The Mets offered, according to John Heyman for Tucker, $60 million in the first year, $60 in the second, and then $50 and $50. So it was $220 over 4 years.
Oh man!
So they were trying to do the same thing. People want to pay for the Dodgers. The Dodgers are living in Southern California. In New York, you saw what happened with Juan Soto. You had an entire radio station that was crushing Juan Soto right out of the gate.
Yeah.
He's never going to live up to that contract. The Dodgers, there's none of that out there.
No.
You walk in, you're going in, you're getting your at-bats. There's no people wanting to trade you after your first 10 games.
You walk in the third inning, you're good to go.
Man, like that's the place to go. All right, so we have Jeff Passan talking about the Phillies not being outbid for Bo. Listen.
Teams are only in the lead insofar as they have the most money on the table. And I think the expectation is that the Phillies at the end of the day are going to be the highest bidders. They have reason to go after him. They have a need, not just for like the right-handed complement to the Schwarber and the Harper, but also just to rejigger that clubhouse a little. Like teams get stale sometimes. And Tim, if you look at what the Phillies have done going from the World Series to the NLCS to the Division Series and getting bounced in consecutive years, that incarnation of them couldn't get over the hump. And you know, there are a lot worse ways to mix it up than by bringing in Bo Bichette.
There you go.
I totally agree with him. You have to have new blood enter the equation to get a different result, to change the dynamic. And I believe that's a big element of what the Phillies need.
Totally agree. Yeah, no.
Imperative.
It's stale. Not that the clubhouse is bad, it's stale.
No, you just need that. You need to add some kind of different dynamic to it. Not to mention the dynamic it adds to your lineup.
I think part of the reason why they were looking to move on from Bohm was the clubhouse aspect of it. Not that he's a bad guy or anything like that. Oh, there's some fatigue with him being a baby and his behavior and
Guys
things
get
like
too
that.
comfortable
Just
too,
his personality. No, you're right.
They get too comfortable. Becomes a country club.
And when you go from World Series appearance, lose in the NLCS, lose, you're gonna run it back with the same core, and that's gonna change. It ain't gonna change, man.
Well, I will tell you that an addition of Bo Bichette brings a different mentality of the team to Schwarber, to Harper, to everyone. They feel like we are better. And they dig in deeper and they get after it. They feel like management's got their back because they're improving the team when they've come up short. There's a trickle-down effect all the way through. And, frankly, through these airwaves and to the fan base.
Yep.
It's a message to everyone that we're doing what we can to win a World Series.
People
not
would
getting
be
the playoffs.
Would be going nuts. So here's the phone number. Listen, we have a nice long segment here. We are going to work in the Eagles pretty quickly into the show. Tim McManus joins us at 11 o'clock. 610-632-0975. 610-632-0975. If you want to talk Phillies, is there anybody out there getting cold feet with Bo Bichette? Is that a Bo no? Hashtag go get Bo?
No, says Bo.
At this point, I can't imagine not getting him and going back to JT.
Here's the thing now. If they don't get him, people are going to feel like they lost something they never had.
Yeah.
Because you get so excited about it, and we hear Ken Rosenthal, and the Phillies are right there, and blah, blah, blah. If they don't get him, it's like, oh, my God, we just lost. It's like you lost a guy, even though he was never here.
Rosenthal says he doubts Toronto's going to be back in on him, even though they lost out to Tucker. They're the favorites. Passan says nobody's going to outbid the Phillies.
Well, this is where Middleton comes in.
Well, this is where, unless something changes and now the Mets come in and say, okay, we'll offer you this much more money, then Middleton's like, oh my God, I'm going to be outbid by the Mets. Then it becomes a real problem.
Because it's personal then.
It just doesn't feel like that's where we're at with Bichette.
And that's not going to happen. You remember when Harper, you were on the air for it.
Yep.
He got involved. He got on the plane. Him and his wife
You're
flew
right.
out to Vegas. He was not leaving Vegas without Bryce Harper.
Right. No, you're right. It becomes an ownership thing.
Yes.
And that's where we are right now. It seems like both sides want to get a deal done, but you still have to get a deal done. You still have to pay them the most money.
But the key thing is that both sides want to get a deal done. So you find the common ground. You find the win-win.
Ray, where are you as far as confidence? We know you went from there's no way this is happening, I'll walk to work if it happens, to yesterday you were like, it's happening. How do you feel today?
He bought a new pair of Asics yesterday.
I know you did. Feeling good.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I mean, yesterday you walked me across the line of this is happening. To hear you kind of shuddering today is kind of startling.
The Tucker thing shows you that something can happen that you're not expecting. And people may have been, the Dodgers are in on Tucker because they're the Dodgers. Did anybody expect them to be willing to go $60 million a year and all told with their tax payment, $122 million a year for a player? It's insane. So, yeah, I'm not totally sure that there's not a team out there that's going to be willing to outbid the Phillies because, the reality is we're not talking about $40 million a year. We're probably talking around $30 million a year, which is a lot of money. But if Tucker's worth $60 million a year just in regular salary, Bo Bichette's only worth $28 million a year. I don't know if there's a team that's gonna say the market just changed. This is an opportunity for us to get in and outbid the Phillies. Because teams realize with the Phillies, they do have a limit that they can do, though, as far as money this year, that they're not going to go over.
Oh, yeah. And they had Preston Magley was on that podcast bragging about the fact they don't offer opt-outs. I mean, Kyle Tucker,
got opt-out.
The absurd thing might be the money to people. The more absurd thing to me is the fact that after 2 years, he could say, I'm tired of making $60 million a year. I'm going to opt out and see what else I can get.
Well, he goes down to 50. We may have to have a can drive for him.
Or he goes back to the Dodgers and says, pay me $80 million a year.
Right.
Yeah, because the economics are different then.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have to leave. He just has to have the ability to leave to get more money.
Maybe that is what needs to be resolved, is what the money is this year, because they are kind of capped for this season and how they structure the deal.
Well, that's why they do a 10-year deal.
Yeah, spread it.
For $280 million, so he gets his big money.
Yeah.
But it takes a long time. Bryce Harper did it. Trey Turner did it. Aaron Nola did it.
Yeah.
But they didn't have to do it with Kyle. Bo Bichette could also say, yeah, that's great, but how about you just give me the money anyway? I don't need it over 8 years. Why don't you just give me the money over 4 years like the Dodgers did with Kyle Tucker?
Yeah, I can invest it how I want.
Yeah, I'll worry about the money. You pay me. Yeah. I don't need to do 10 years.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know if there's a team that's out there willing to do that with him. I don't know. Ray, I probably have went down a half a point since yesterday in the confidence just because I'm shaken by what happened with Tucker.
You walked me down this path. Almost literally at this point, you've walked me down this path of Bichette. And now I'm going to have to turn around and get all worried about this again?
But it's still an 8-7. I'm not down to a 7. I'm just not a 9 anymore.
It's concerning. It's concerning to me.
So it needs to be done today because you can't go into the weekend with this anxiety and doubt.
It depends. Depends if I'm the agent at this point, if I feel like I can still, if now there's other teams or there's teams that are involved in negotiating, I don't have to make a deal.
And the market's been reset.
Right.
The agent may be going, hey, look, the parameters have changed here.
So
the economics are different.
So I would think that now this is when the agent's making calls and talking and already has. And if there are other teams that are involved, or now maybe a team gets involved because they lost out like the Jays, that's when you're like, all right, let's try to cook this market up a little bit and let's see how much more money I can get out of the Blue Jays. Maybe they can get me more money out of the Phillies. So I don't necessarily believe that this is happening today. I hope it happens today, but it's going to happen soon.
Yeah, everything's going to come to a head here because beyond even him, there's more of a trickle-down effect that's going to happen to other teams.
Right, and what happens with JT Realmuto? So some of the other biggest news that we heard from yesterday into today is what JT Realmuto's market was and what the Phillies were offering. So we'll do Eagles next segment as well, 610-632-0975, 610-632-0975. Very interesting press conference yesterday by Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman. But what were the Phillies offering JT Realmuto? Could the Phillies sign both Bichette and JT? A former Phillies GM believes so. And wait till you hear what JT reportedly wants in a contract. And what did the Phillies offer him? Wait till you hear this. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, Martinez, Ray Dunn, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Looking to the offseason, I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The end-of-season presser was yesterday for Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman. They recapped everything we saw this year for the Philadelphia Eagles and the disappointing finish. And Howie Roseman was candid in saying this season just wasn't good enough.
You know, if it doesn't end with confetti falling on our head, I don't feel like it's good enough. I know that we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but I believe we can, you know, and I go into every offseason thinking we're going to do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl, and when we fall short, I look to improve.
So it's officially a Howie season. We'll break it down with ESPN's Tim McManus coming up at 11. We'll also get a chance to talk with Bleacher Report and the Athletics' James Palmer at 1 o'clock about everything going on with the Birds. Kyle Tucker signed a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dodgers yesterday, $60 million per year for Tucker. What's this do for the Bo Bichette market? We're all waiting to see. The Phillies still believed to be the favorites there. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Penguins last night, 5 straight losses for them in regulation consecutively. 76ers host the Cavs again tonight, 7 o'clock start. You can listen to it here on the Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate. I'm Ray Down, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, and the best Birds talk in town. 97.5, the Fanatic.
Day? Hashtag Go Get Bo Day?
It's hashtag, come on, Bo.
He's got it. That's got to be a top 5 Bo.
Yeah.
That Bo. Bo Jackson, Bo Bichette, Bo.
Ricky Bo.
Ricky Bo is a top 5 as well.
Yep.
We're back middays with Marks. That's Jason Bertini.
Bo Nix.
That's Ray Dunn. Bo Nix
Needs a big weekend.
That's a very timely Bo.
Timely
Bo
Bo.
Nix.
Correct. Nobody bigger than Bo Bichette. Even Ricky Batalico would get dwarfed in the Bo contest.
What about Bo Bridges?
Bo Bridges does not make my cut, even though it's a Beau.
Yeah, it's a different spelling. Good point. It's very debonair.
Correct. But would not make my top Bows. But
Mount Rushmore of Bows. 610.
Larry Boa, does he count as a Bo?
Well, no.
It's a nickname.
Yeah, it's a nickname, but no.
Okay. I would agree.
He's a boa.
He's his own Bo.
Like a boa constrictor.
Correct. All right. We
One of my favorites ever, by the way.
Larry, he is my favorite. It killed me when they traded him for Avante Jesus.
I love talking to him because you know what he says? Bo Bichette can hit.
He is, dude, Larry, the workouts that because he's on Instagram. I'm friends with his wife, so I follow Patty on Instagram.
Yeah.
And the workouts that Larry Boa does
To this day.
and he's 80 years old.
Yeah.
Where he's doing the jump on the what's it called where you have like the tape where you're jumping up not on a table but
it's on a box.
Right, the
It's
box
a
jump.
plyometric jump, yes.
He's doing the box jump.
Explosive jumps, yes.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta get Ray. We gotta get Larry on. I gotta text him to get him on.
Yeah, he is phenomenal. And he's still out there with the fungo,
He's the best.
hitting balls. He's just
Throwing batting practice.
Yeah, he's a baseball man, like he's an old school baseball man.
He's probably all juiced up for Bo Bichette. All right, so if we don't get to Eagles this segment, because we have a ton to talk about with that, Tim McManus at 11 o'clock, and we have next segment as well. But so JT Realmuto, everybody just expects if you sign Bo Bichette, JT's out. And I still believe that. I don't believe they're bringing back JT Realmuto.
You think that's the likely scenario?
I think by far it's the most likely scenario. Right? Do you agree that I don't see any way they bring JT back and Bo Bichette. You seem to at least disagree a little bit on that.
Yeah, I disagree with that because if JT all he's going to get is 1 year from someone else, what's the point? You can stick it to the Phillies all you want. You're only harming yourself. You're only going to go into a worse situation.
I think out of spite, he would not come back to the Phillies. Anyway, so let's do this. Here's Ruben tomorrow. This is on the Phillies show with Todd Zielecki, Ozone, and Jim Salisbury. He thinks there's a way they can bring both. Go.
Does this preclude them from doing JT? It could. It might not. It might not only because they got money coming off after this year. They may be willing to take a very heavy financial hit this year, knowing that later on there might be a reset in the luxury tax. There may be a reset in a lot of different ways. I think that there's a pathway to do it. It's not our money. And I think that there's a pathway to do it. And I honestly would not be surprised if both JT and Bo Bichette are on that roster.
That's awesome.
Sign me up.
So, and Salisbury, early on when you heard another voice, that was Salisbury agreeing that there is a path.
That sparked my eye right away because when I heard Jim Salisbury go,
Jim's not the guy that is throwing stuff on Twitter and you're saying, but Jim's been reporting a lot of the stuff that's been reported here the last week or so by the insiders. Jim's been saying this for weeks.
It's really getting Ruben annoyed.
I know it is, but like I meant to mention, I meant to text Todd Zielecki and say, yo, you got to get whoever cuts up your clips to put that stuff out there so you're getting credit for it. Because it's getting lost because he's saying these things and it's not getting promoted that he's saying it.
On that platform.
On that. It's just that then you get...
That makes me want to listen on my ride home.
Yeah.
You should.
It's a really good show.
Great podcast.
I like all three of those guys.
I do too.
For totally different reasons, but they're educated.
Yep.
I feel like I'm learning something. Like baseball's one of those sports where I don't know the ins and outs like other sports. So I feel like it educates me.
Right. And so when Ruben talks like that, it doesn't mean that that's going to happen with Dombrowski. But I can tell you this. If Ruben Amaro Jr. was the GM,
it would happen.
It would happen.
Yeah.
And people really crap on Ruben a lot. And I get it because it was the end of the run. He constructed a team that was better than the World Series team. Yeah. That unfortunately in baseball, when you run into the hot team or whatever.
Cold bats.
But you think about those teams that he constructed, the checks that were written by the Phillies to be able to do it. Cliff Lee, he traded for Roy Halladay when he was in his prime Cy Young Roy Halladay.
Yep. And he went out and got Roy Oswalt.
Hunter Pence.
Yep.
He was at the trade deadline. He was cooking.
And Hunter Pence was a hot commodity from the Giants at the time.
It didn't end up working out. It was Houston.
Or Houston, rather.
And he went to the Giants after here.
Yeah.
So then he gets Hunter Pence, and he just trades Hunter Pence away when he's like, nah, whatever. But what did you say to me during the break about Ruben?
You remember when you were talking about Mike Tomlin talking about Harbaugh, and it was like Tomlin's talking about himself even though he's talking about Harbaugh? Ruben Amaro is talking about his own belief as a general manager every time that he projects onto what's going on with the Phillies. Like, I remember him at the deadline was like, yeah, I'll give up prospect A, B, C, D, and go get whoever it is at the deadline because that's the way he did it. And to what you said, he did build a lot of good teams, but you listen to him talking right there, and it's like, yeah, if Ruben was guiding the ship right now, for sure, he's finding a way to write both those checks.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, he traded every prospect away except Dom Brown.
Yeah.
And he was the one guy he should have traded away because Dom didn't, he had a good start, but none of those prospects actually materialized. Carlos Carrasco was really good.
Draybeck
didn't do anything. It took Carrasco a couple years. He did develop. He was didn't he win a Cy Young, or he was close. And then the catcher that bounced around, he was with the Mets for a long time. He ended up being really good. It took him some time. Anyway, Ruben said F them prospects. Dave Dombrowski could have traded Aiden Miller. Where's Aiden Miller going to play if they sign Bo Bichette? Seriously, they didn't trade him. They had opportunities to get Zach Crochet, and they didn't do it because of Aiden Miller. And where's Aiden Miller going to play now?
Probably wherever Bichette doesn't once they get rid of Stott.
Once Stott walks for free agency. Yeah, but that's a couple years away. Anyway, it's really interesting. It's really interesting to hear Ruben talk about that. And it does get me excited. So let's move into here's Jim Salisbury on the same show talking about JT's market.
I've been hearing for several weeks that they've made a 3-year offer, but the sticking point is the money. 3-year offer I've heard is south of $45 million, which may or may not be a significant number because everything I hear is he would like to, be paid closer to $20 million. And JT is, like I said, a game of chicken. The Phillies don't want to bid against themselves. I think they're pretty certain there's not a huge market, though. From what I hear, JT does have a landing spot if it doesn't work out here. Okay. I'm sure that's probably a 1-year deal, but I think this is the place he wants to be. I know this is the place he wants to be.
He screwed it up. He has totally mismanaged the situation. And I'm not even going to blame the agent because this is multiple agents as he's been with that he's been hard-headed like this. The talk of respect, wanting $20 million a year. You're not a $20 million a year player, JT.
No. And that's not going to be the case after this year on a 1-year deal somewhere else.
So here's the question, and it's what Ray was talking about earlier. If they sign Bo Bichette, the Phillies go back to JT and say, listen, we can't give you a multi-year contract. We can't give you the 3. I can't believe they offered him a 3-year contract. I can't believe he turned down a 3-year contract.
I know, for 45.
Jesus, when Todd Zalecki actually reported there's been multiple multi-year contract proposals that were talked about. So there was probably a 2-year for more money each year that they offered him. Then they said, we'll go to 3.
So you go 2 years, 36.
Right, or 3 years, 42.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Right? So if the Phillies go back to him and say, we'll offer you a 1-year, $10 million contract, does he, if there's only 1-year contracts out there for him in the market, I think JT will go elsewhere for the same amount of money out of spite because he didn't get what he wanted.
Does he have a chance to win elsewhere?
I don't think the Pirates, well, maybe they would, but he's not going to sign with the Pirates for a year. I actually don't know who. I'd have to look at it. When Jim Salisbury said there's other landing spots, if I was a playoff team that had a catcher that was kind of like, for a 1-year, $8 million contract for JT, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, but if I'm the Phillies, I'm going to outbid that. Because I think the importance of him and his ability to work with the pitchers they have is more valuable.
But it's not about
more value here.
It's not about outbidding it. It's about we can't offer you a multi-year contract, but we'd be willing to do the 1 year because we know that's what your market is. Salisbury talked about it right there. The Phillies don't want to bid with themselves because that's what they'd be doing right now.
Yeah,
I don't think JT comes back if it's the similar terms. Out of spite, look at his behavior.
Yeah,
he's
hard-headed.
Oh man. He sure is.
His agent's filling his head up with all kinds of mess.
Maybe, or maybe it's just him, because his ex-agent talked about how JT felt disrespected. He wanted $200 million in his last contract. He got $110. And his former agent, on a podcast came out and said that JT felt disrespected by the offer. So maybe there's a reason why the agent doesn't work with him anymore is because JT's like, you didn't give me enough money. I want more money.
Yeah.
Audi, actually, you know what? You're going to have to hang on. We're up against it. 610-632-0975. We'll take your phone call. We're going to switch to the Birds. We absolutely nailed what Howie Roseman was going to do yesterday at the press conference. Looking towards the future and also the urgency of the Eagles to win every single year. That's coming up next. What he said on Sirianni. Tim McManus at 11 o'clock. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic. The Eagles coming up this segment, and with Tim at 11 o'clock. Lots to talk about the press conference yesterday. By the way, Bo Bichette could sign today during the show, so you don't want to go anywhere. Ray has left the studio. He's underneath John Heyman's desk. So he will know as the minute John Heyman finds out, Ray will send a tweet underneath John Heyman's desk.
Top 5 places you would not want to find yourself.
Wow. Does Tim Saunders have a desk?
I was just thinking the same thing. While you're done. Sorry, Tim.
Couple more things on the Phillies. Let's get Audi Dad in here on the Phillies first. Audi, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I think we've got some pressure on the next news conference not being about Bo Bichette, but about being a trade to free up money and players so they can put Bo Bichette somewhere and also have the money to free up JT. The pressure now is on the general manager to get these pieces to fit. I know one phone call from number 3 to number 10, and it's taken care of. So that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about you got a piece. If you put your money on the line on I want Bo Bichette, you got to make it fit. So I think the next thing we're going to hear is a big trade.
So you do think JT is going to be back?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
But the thing about that, Audi Dad, what if you make the trade to free up the money, but then you don't get Bo Bichette? You got to get Bichette first.
Well, yeah, Bichette signs, and then you trade.
Oh, yeah, because
it's you don't want to take the picture and the grandeur away from Bo Bichette 2 days after you sign him. You want to get the thing clear.
No, I don't care about that, because if I make these deals to free up the money and I don't sign them, then I look foolish.
So here's what happens. I would guarantee you that parameters of a trade for Alec Boehm are there.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you can't make the move. You don't sign the player and say, oh, crap, we got to free up money. Dave Dombrowski's been working the phones. They've been talking about trading Alec Boehm for 2 years. It's just now you're willing to take maybe much less than you were before.
Yeah, and your leverage is compromised because they know the other team knows that you are trying to free up the money to sign Bo Bichette.
Correct. Correct. Yeah, and a team, Boston lost out on Alex Bregman. They need a third baseman. They're not going after Bichette. They signed Ranger Suarez. Do not be surprised if this does happen with Bo Bichette that Alec Boehm goes to Boston.
Yeah.
He's a good player. They're a playoff team.
Yep.
He's a better player. They'll probably be pleasantly surprised with what they get. We're kind of over him and tired of Alec Boehm. He's still a good player. He's just not a cleanup hitter on the team.
He looks probably better to teams from afar that don't follow as close as
correct.
Fan bases may look at him that.
Correct, and it's 1 year. It's 1 year. It's manageable, $10.2 million. There's not a lot of there's not a long-term commitment.
Value.
One other message here. Mike English on Instagram DM'd me and he said, "I don't like the Ruin Tomorrow crowd. We always wanted those players back, and he's a Philly guy, Ruben Amaro. There's not a bigger Philly guy. Anybody in the media or anybody that'll ever be in the Phillies organization. Ruben was a bat boy because his dad was a 50-year employee of the team.
Yeah.
Coach for the team, was with the organization forever.
Yeah.
Ruben grew up in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
He's a true Philly guy.
Yeah, he is. He gets it. I've always been a big fan of Ruben just because, we go down to spring training, you get to deal with him and stuff like that. And Ruben had a set of stones.
If
you question something you did when I worked with Mike, he was on the line.
I
could
very
text him,
accessible.
and he'd be on the line, and he'd call out Mike. Mike, you don't know baseball.
And that was, and we weren't the flagship station for the team, so it's not like that. No, he was just honestly, Jason. I used to say that he was too available for the media.
Yeah,
especially towards the end, he just needed to stop talking
and maybe too honest.
Yeah,
but the fact that like a lot of people will say that Pat Gillick, he bared the fruit of Pat Gillick's tenure, and to some degree that's true. But he also did go out and get Roy Halladay and get Cliff Lee and assemble this pitching staff.
But also, Pat Gillick didn't draft Ryan Howard and Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley and those guys. They were left.
That was
Ed Wade, right? So, all right. So, impressions of the press conference yesterday. Howie Rose, Nick Sirianni spoke a lot more than I thought he was going to. It was shorter than I thought. Mm-hmm. You felt good.
I liked it. When I see a team that disappoints, I want to know that the people making the decisions found it unacceptable too. And that's what I heard. And the fact that they moved on Kevin Patullo so quick tells me something. It took them till January 23rd to fire Brian Johnson.
I was trying to go back and remember why it took so long. Was that because they were considering Sirianni?
I don't know. I don't know why, but it did. It took a while. Maybe there was conversations between Sirianni and ownership trying to keep him. I don't know, but it took till the 23rd. I went back and checked, and this was right away. This was. We know this is a problem. They knew this was a problem weeks ago, and they knew they were moving on. They couldn't find a solution in the season, which cost them, which sucks, and the season's over. But they are not doubling down on a decision, and that was clear. And they are not happy with how things went this year, and they're not punting next year.
Yeah, the urgency.
We have a good club
that we didn't hear from Dave Dombrowski that I needed. We went into the press conference. Ray and I are talking about what he's going to say, and I'm predicting the Howie Roseman level of urgency. Like we didn't get it done this year. Like me, if I'm Dave Dombrowski or I'm running the Phillies, I come into that press conference and I say, it's really disappointing because we have a really good team and we were that close, and a couple things didn't go our way, or we could have beaten them. But I know that I need to do a better job. What can I do to get us over the hump?
I need to fix it.
I need to fix it.
Yes.
What can I do in the margins? What can I do here? Instead, with him,
we have a good club.
It was like he had his feet up on the desk and he was celebrating
70. He'd been in this light.
Right.
Yeah. We're not thinking the same way he thinks.
That was not Howie Roseman yesterday.
No, Howie thinks like a fan thinks.
And we predicted it, that he was going to talk about urgency. Another takeaway, Ray, tell me if you felt the same thing. Big time having Nick Sirianni's back. Big time having his back, and also presenting him as, hang on a second. We're not deciding who the offensive coordinator is, and Nick's playing knockout in the gym. He's picking the next offensive coordinator. He's the head coach. He's the one selecting the offensive coordinator. He's the one in charge here. Did you hear the same thing?
Yeah, I heard the same thing just because I heard a lot of Nick Sirianni. Like, I think, Jason, what you said there was big because I go into that presser every time and I expect, kind of like Sirianni's the ad-lib guy. You know, you're listening to, a rap song. He's the guy in the background.
I called him Flavor Flav yesterday to Chuck D.
It's perfect.
He wasn't yesterday.
Yeah, boy.
Exactly. He wasn't that guy yesterday.
Hype man.
He was the guy that was actually giving the answers and, really delivering what he wants for this team. That and Howie Roseman was more... We went with the whole, what's Sirianni going to say to hype up Howie? It was really the opposite. It was Howie hyping up Nick as, this great coach. He listed off things he thought he was elite at.
He called him elite.
Yeah, he called him elite. They did more conversation about how elite Sirianni was than any player on the team.
Do you think
we have a good club?
That was based on Dombrowski's not elite comment? Do you think even a part of it they used the word elite just to kind of,
you think they're that aware?
The Eagles?
Oh, they are.
Let me tell you something. Bob Lang and the staff down there, John Gannot, everybody down there.
They know everything.
Elite preparation for the message to be sent yesterday.
Yeah.
And they really, really hammered it home. Nick Sirianni's not this idiot. Nick Sirianni's not here just for his speeches on Friday night.
Yeah.
This is an executive. This is the CEO of our team, and all of these important decisions, he's making the decisions. This isn't Howie Roseman making every decision, and Nick Sirianni's there doing rock, paper,
the puppet
scissors.
master?
Right.
Hell yeah.
Now, I mean, do I think that's actually what's happening? I mean, I don't know.
To some degree.
To some degree.
But Howie's more involved than they let on yesterday.
Go ahead, Ray.
I just think it's a nice way for them to try and cool the temperature.
Agreed.
To me, that's what Howie Roseman did yesterday. He's like, hey, I watched someone in this organization watched every single morning national football show this week and understands that everyone in this world is calling him a dummy.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
And he's no dummy, all right? He's our elite head coach. He's our guy. We're going to back him, and don't ask me questions about his future. It's pretty much the way I took that.
Yeah. Oh, no, a strong presentation.
Yeah, it was silence any thought of that. Let's not make that a conversation on the radio or podcast or wherever, message boards. He's the guy.
Tim McManus, ESPN, will get his insights on everything with the Eagles, including where does he think they're going on the offensive coordinator search. Supposedly Mike McDaniel would almost rather be an offensive coordinator than go to a crappy club as a head coach.
Yeah.
Smart move. Go to the Browns and lose your job after 2 years, or make $6 million, $7 million a year as the Eagles offensive coordinator?
And become the number one candidate, and you pick where you go.
Wherever you want to go. Tim McManus next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
The end of season. I'm Ray done with this Fanatic Sports Update. We got the end of season pressers yesterday from Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman, addressing a number of things: the offensive coordinator search, what didn't work with the offense, and what makes Nick Sirianni elite. But going back to that offense conversation, Sirianni was asked about his involvement in the future offensive scheme and what he'll do with the offensive coordinator.
As the head coach, you always have to be oversight of everything. Again, many different ways to do it. I think it's best for the football team when I'm the head football coach. So, we'll see where all that goes as far as that goes.
We'll see where all that goes. We'll talk about where all that goes with Tim McManus coming up in the next segment. James Palmer will also join us at 1 o'clock. Kyle Tucker Sunday, 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dodgers. What's this do for the Bo Bichette market? No one knows yet. The Phillies still regarded as the favorites. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Penguins last night. 5 straight losses, the last 4 coming in regulation. 76ers host the Cavaliers again tonight. That game at 7 o'clock. This update brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about education, research, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers. Flyers, the best birds talk, 97.5, The Fanatic.
With Marks, happy Go Get Bo Day. We will keep you updated. Every rumor, Brandon Dutz and Nate Tennyson in the back are like, they're not even allowed to blink. They're constantly scrolling to see if anything breaks. So we will let you know. But Kyle Tucker signs last night. Could Bo Bichette be today? Hashtag Go Get Bo. We will keep you updated. We will break away from coverage. If we're on the air with Tim McManus and he's talking about something with the Eagles, I'll hang up on him if they sign Bo Bichette. So don't go anywhere. You will not get the information faster than right here at Middays with Marks on 97.5, The Fanatic. But the Eagles had their end-of-season press conference yesterday. Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman. A lot of times during this. Hang on a second. Twitter's down?
Yeah, Twitter's down.
Oh, dude.
I got MLB Network up right now. Don't worry.
But I do need you up at Heyman's house now. You need to get go in his office. All right. Anyway, so so really, I was surprised at the press conference because this was a Nick Sirianni press conference. This wasn't a, hey, Nick, you sit there, I'll pat you on the head a couple times, and I'm Howie Roseman. I'm going to answer all these questions. This was a strong presentation of Nick Sirianni's not only our head coach, he's one of the best coaches in the NFL. He's been one of the best coaches in the NFL, and every single decision that we make as an organization is going with him as a key contributor to it. To discuss ESPN.com's Eagles reporter Tim McManus joins us. What's up, Timmy?
Hello. What's going on, guys?
Did you come away from the press conference yesterday thinking, because I went in after the reports over the weekend saying all right, people are saying that the offensive coordinator gets full autonomy. It means it's more or less like, hey, Nick, go away. You're not in charge of anything anymore. Meanwhile, what I was being presented with yesterday was, Nick Sirianni's the one that's really making the decision, and Nick Sirianni's the one that really has a very strong grip over this franchise. What did you think?
Yeah, you're dead on. There was an awkward moment in the very beginning because what typically happens at these end-of-season press conferences is Roseman takes the mic and starts with an opening statement. So the reporters were just sitting there waiting for him to do that, and instead, they just said, "All right, fire away." So that was purposeful. If you're changing that, there's a reason why they decided not to have Roseman kind of as the lead figure at this particular press conference. And then the other thing that really had my attention was when Sirianni was being asked about the coaching staff and whether this new offensive coordinator would, be able have the autonomy to fill out the staff and his vision. Roseman jumped in and started talking about all of these really good qualities that Sirianni possesses as a head coach, and it felt maybe calculated. Certainly, that's something that he wanted to say and something that he wanted to frame to make sure that he was putting Sirianni in a position of strength publicly.
Tim, when the urgency that they displayed in the press conference and in their actions, frankly, with how fast they moved on from Kevin Patullo, why is that? Because in 2023, I brought this up to John, it took them until the 23rd of January to move on from Brian Johnson. This urgency this year seems much more resolute. Why is that, in your opinion?
Well, I think that there is a carousel going on right now, Jason, that's kind of unique, and I think they needed to jump into it. And you don't really want to waste time at this point. And just think of all of the different head coaching openings and those guys trying to cultivate their own staffs. I think you just really want to sort of get into that stream pretty quickly and do as thorough of a search as you possibly can within those time constraints. And so for me, there wasn't any debate about whether it was the right decision to move on from Patullo. It had to be done. Yeah. And you have, this fast moving coaching carousel that you needed to jump into. So those were the main factors for me.
All right. So there's a lot to talk about, but let's just get right into the offensive coordinator discussion. Full autonomy. There's stories coming out saying McDaniel may be fine with being an offensive coordinator right now. The other thing that I had gotten out of yesterday when it's talking about bringing in a guy and it not being just a play caller, it's a true offensive coordinator. Is this a push by the organization to, and this is not saying to tell Jalen Hurts, to be more or less be like, hey, we're not bringing in another play caller that maybe has more experience and will be better than Kevin Patullo to run the same boring plays, that we're ready for you to make the next step and to evolve. So the quarterback needs to evolve and the offense has to evolve. Is that what the Eagles are trying to do with this offensive coordinator hire?
I think it's a recognition that they have to move away from what they've been doing fundamentally on offense in some capacity, right, John? Because even though Hurts has really emphasized over his entire time here about the different coordinators he's had, and remember the 95% comment that he had, like everything's new, this, that, and the other thing. Like when you talk to other players, they have a different perspective on it. Like when we talk to Devontae Smith and Saquon Barkley as an example, after they lost to the Niners, they were saying how the scheme has essentially been the same. And Smith said the whole time that he was here, and Barkley saying it was basically the same stuff that we were running last year.
Right.
And I think this is a recognition now. Like they need to change things up. Like what their approach is, has been caught up to, and is too vanilla to succeed consistently at this level. And so I don't know if that's a direct statement to Hurts, but it's certainly an admission that they need to do something more than just tweaks.
I want to get your opinion on who you think the coordinator could be, but a follow-up on Jalen Hurts. Shady McCoy says he talks to people with the Eagles, and they say that he can't handle complex offenses and multiple reads, and then you hear Kurt Warner and some other players saying I find it hard to believe that this is Jalen Hurts can't understand offenses and things like that. What do you think about the whole thing? What inside when you talk to people, what is the thoughts on Jalen Hurts when it comes to those things?
That there's restrictions. I don't think that makes him particularly unique. When you look at quarterbacks throughout the whole NFL landscape, like which ones don't have restrictions?
Right.
There's probably 3 or 4. But certainly I think that, some frustration can come from, all right, well, we feel like we have to have the offense in a certain way because to match Jalen Hurts' strengths. But, that really shouldn't be, this big point of contention from where I stand. Like, is he the perfect quarterback? He is not. But I do feel like he can be maximized more relative to the scheme that he has been in. I think that he's capable of throwing over the middle. I've never gotten the sense, and I could be wrong here, but people that I've talked to, I never got the sense that he was like, I'm not going to throw over the middle. Like,
right.
That doesn't really add up to, what we know about him, where he's just so focused on winning. Like if you feel like if throwing over the middle is going to do it, then have him do it. I feel like there's been a reluctance there, but that to me feels a little bit more from a coaching staff perspective. So there are limitations that Hurts has in his game. I think we need to be honest about that. Like people who prop him up and be like, no, he does. And that's okay. And they need to find a coaching staff that can push those limitations, that can get him better in those areas. And he has to be willing to accept that and to grow. And I think everything that we've seen from Hurts over his career, that he is willing to take steps in order to get better as a quarterback.
What quarterback doesn't have limitations? You know what I mean? You just got to mitigate how much they damage your ability to be effective. One of the things for a quarterback to be effective is having top wide receivers. We know the situation, obviously, all year with A.J. Brown. What did you hear yesterday regarding A.J. Brown? Did it change your kind of your prediction of whether he's going to be here or not? Howie was a kind of chalk on that.
Said the same thing he said at the trade deadline.
Yeah, I mean, what do you take away from what Howie said there, and what do you believe the future of A.J. Brown as an Eagle is?
Yeah, I think he basically said the same thing that he said at the trade deadline, but maybe wasn't quite as firm. It was. So maybe a slight, if you want to read between the lines, maybe there's a little bit more wiggle room. There's been a lot of smoke around this. I think that there's always reason when that kind of smoke comes out. There's obvious frustration from Brown's side. And I'm not saying that it's a lock that he's coming back, but I will say that if you just look at it, Rose's point's right. Like, you don't want to get rid of those kind of players. And then if they do, let's just play it out. Then what does the offense look like? They had a lot of struggles this past season as a passing offense. If you remove your top skill position player from that equation, and by the way, you also might be losing Dallas Goedert, how's that going to make you better? So I think
how's that make Hurts better?
Right. So I think the best path forward is figuring it out, is getting Brown in a place where he feels better about what's happening, where he can fully commit, because it definitely felt like times this year where his off-field frustrations leaked into his on-field play. You can be
Agreed.
frustrated, but don't let that affect what's happening on the field, man. And he's supposed to be a big time player, and he did not have a big time performance in the playoff game. It was the exact opposite of that. You need to get that fixed. If you feel like it can't happen, then that's when you're like, all right, we just have to figure it out. We have to find another playmaker to come in here, and we have to change the equation. But I would work as hard as possible to try to make it work. Between the organization and A.J. Brown, I think you're better off for it.
Yeah, I think they have a conversation, and they say, hey, AJ, what do you want to do? And I think you can make him happier regarding the offense, Tim, and we're talking to Tim McManus, ESPN, with hiring the right offensive coordinator. If he's out there in motion, the Eagles don't run motion. If he's out there in motion and you have these creative play calls. So who do you think, let's just kind of, Todd Monken seems like he's going with John Harbaugh to New York. He wouldn't be on the table, but the Dayballs, the Mike LaFleurs, the Mike Kafkas, the Mike McDaniels. What are you hearing? A lot of Mikes. What are you hearing? And what is your thought early on in the process?
So one thing that comes to my mind when it comes to some of these big names is what would that fit look like? Brian Daboll and Nick Sirianni. What would that look like? Daboll was on staff at Alabama when Jalen Hurts got benched. So what does that mean? How about McDaniel? One, he has, he was the head coach when the whole stuff with Vic Fangio was happening. How would they be together? How would McDaniel and Jalen Hurts be together? That seems fascinating to me. Like those two very, very different personalities. Would that work or would that not work? The coach that comes to mind for me that seems like a fit is Kevin Stefanski. I don't know if they'll be able to pull that off because there are so many head coach openings, and certainly he seems like a viable candidate for one of them. If he's not, we know that there's a good personality mesh between the head coach and him. They have those joint practices together that has worked well. I think schematically it wouldn't be a huge jump away from what you're doing. Heavy run game, play action. He would have more creativity to that, but you're not having this like divergent scheme where Mike McDaniel is running motion 80% of the time and Hurts is thrown over the middle 60% of the time. So that to me makes sense, but I don't think they're at the point yet where it's like, all right, we definitely have this guy, where it felt like Kellen Moore came together quickly. I think they're going to cast the net here and interview some guys and see what comes back. And obviously they have to play the waiting game, see which one of these guys gets head coaching jobs.
How much does Jalen Hurts play into this process, Tim? The process of whittling this down. How much input will he have in the equation?
Well, I thought it was pretty telling that Sirianni said, of course, Hurts is going to, have some say, but so is, with A.J. Brown, Saquon Barkley, Lane Johnson. So he diluted it from that perspective. And I think that's the right approach. I personally don't feel that Jalen Hurts is in a position to have like some serious clout when it comes to the next offensive coordinator. And I also don't feel like that would be the right approach. What I think needs to happen is you need to bring in an offensive coordinator that he respects and he will get pushed by. When we have seen him have high levels of success, those two ingredients have been in place. Like it's known. With Kellen Moore, as an example, it's not like he's like this guy that's up yelling and screaming, but there was an authoritative presence about him, the way that he talked that Hurts gravitated to and understood that, like, sort of the delineation of, okay, this guy has it, and so I'm respecting that. And also, when there was corrections to be made, like Moore, from my understanding, was very straightforward about it. Like you didn't have to you don't have to dress it up or anything like that. You make the corrections, you do it bluntly, and you move on. That's what you have to look for. Like I care less about what Hurts thinks, and I care more about what's good for Hurts. And I think that's where the organization has to take a broad view here about, okay, what's going to get the best out of this quarterback so he takes a step up. Because the last 3 years, the passing offense hasn't been good. And that's not great.
Yeah,
he's QB1, and the passing game hasn't been good for 3 years, man. I mean, we have to face reality here.
They get him out of his comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah,
challenge him.
Yeah, push him.
Yeah,
yeah. Every time he's been challenged in his career,
he's risen.
He's responded.
Yep.
All right. So, yeah, that's what you got to do.
Tim, great stuff as always, man. Appreciate it. We'll keep watching you and reading you, and we'll talk to you soon.
Tim, it's going to be a fascinating offseason.
Sure is.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I feel like we're just getting revved up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the season just ended, but it doesn't feel like the next season starts.
No, there's so much very critical decisions to be made.
That's great.
And Dallas Goedert, as you mentioned, Tim, is a huge one.
Thanks, Timmy.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so much. All right, guys. We'll talk soon.
There he is.
Yeah, the Dallas Goedert one I am really nervous about.
And we were actually – it's on a show sheet for probably 10 times in the next few months.
Yeah, we got to space them out.
But the A.J. Brown coming back is a fascinating sports conversation.
On so many levels.
Oh, my God. Because, like Tim talking and everything with it, A.J. Brown needs to say, I want to come back. I'm having a conversation with A.J. Brown. If A.J. says, man, I don't know, no, either you need to be fully committed.
Yeah.
This can't affect you on the field. And it affected him on the field last year.
Well, I wonder about that, John, because his teammates saw that. Did he lose teammates in a playoff game where he didn't look like he was competing as hard as he could? No, that doesn't go over well in the locker room.
But it's also not one of these things where it's like, oh, well, he's intentionally. No, when Sirianni got in his face, it affected him on the field. When things were going right, he wasn't running routes. I mean, if he's going 100% on that route, it could be caught. There were way too many drops, routine drops with him. So I didn't like what I saw at the end of the year, and you see this all the time, when you bring in a new head coach, this isn't bringing in a new head coach, this is bringing in a new offense, you rejuvenate the player.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I'm not just going out and running the same route, and Jalen's rolling to the right and throwing it out of bounds. But, wow, this is unbelievable. This is innovative.
The freshness.
Yeah. One other thing Tim said there at the end, and I'm so glad that he said it, because when I say it, I don't know ball. I'm an a-hole. But when Tim says it, Jalen Hurts has not been great at throwing the ball the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Regular season, they won the Super Bowl. This wasn't a great passing offense. Now, you can say it's because of the offense coordinator and the offense. Okay, that's a part of it. But this past season, I mean, he hasn't went forward. He's either stayed the same or went backwards as a passer.
No. He hasn't stayed the same.
This passing offense has went backwards.
It went backwards. John, they had 2 games where they didn't have a completion in the second half. There's no doubt it didn't stay the same. It went backwards.
I guess I've been conditioned to watch what I say about Jalen because he won a Super Bowl. Otherwise,
and he's a lightning rod.
I'll get angry DMs my way. But yeah, they haven't been good enough.
Yeah.
The passing offense this year was not good enough. I'll leave it like that.
If he didn't have a running game the way he did the year prior, it probably would have been worse. But they did.
Right.
And Saquon ran for 2,005 yards.
Right. Remember, A.J. Brown. What's wrong with the offense, A.J.? The passing. It's the pass. What's wrong with it? It's the passing offense. And that was the year they won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and Jalen takes that as an indictment on him, as he should.
Yep. And you know who was running the offense that year? The best offensive coordinator of all time, Hall of Famer Kellen Moore, as now people think of him.
Yeah.
So if the passing offense wasn't good with him, then what are we talking about here? And that's got to change.
Yeah.
And I thought you were dead on. Tim was dead on. I said the same thing yesterday. This is where you need to challenge the player. This is where it's like, hey,
make
Jalen,
him uncomfortable.
I don't want you throwing the ball or rolling to your right and throwing it out of bounds. I want you to make that throw.
Yeah.
He had such a lack of confidence last year in making throws. What was the game was it the Minnesota game he was threading the needle? Mm-hmm. And he was making throws that he wouldn't have made because he was putting it in between 2 players. He was coached and conditioned not to do that, I believe.
Because he didn't want to turn the ball over.
Correct.
So safe that it was an issue. There was no risk. The thing with him and all athletes, sometimes you have to challenge them to go to uncomfortable places to break through the skill sets that you don't know that you have.
Yeah.
And a new offensive coordinator can do that. Now, I was interested in what he said about Mike McDaniel, because it'll be really different.
All right.
It may be overwhelming.
Might be too different.
It might be too different. But he's pretty different.
But you know what? I'm totally good with that.
Try it.
Ray, did you watch the same video I did over the last 24 hours? The 6-minute, he's going over game planning, and the beginning was with Greg Cosell talking about stuff. And if you need 6 minutes to believe in Mike McDaniel's the right offense coordinator, that's it. He's a sharp dude, man.
Oh, yeah.
He's a smart dude.
Like, could you imagine interviewing McVay? What that must have been like?
Man. Intensity. He's smarter than everybody in the room.
I mean, the
He gets
recall.
it. The difference with McVay and McDaniel is McVay is a man's man, and his players love him.
Yeah.
They play for him. They love him.
Yeah.
McDaniel,
He's quirky.
he's quirky, a little bit weird, wearing the
goofy.
capris. But as an offensive coordinator, the guys look at it, because all the players want is to succeed.
They're only worried about their career.
Yeah. And they look at this guy and they say, Jesus, compared to Patullo, this is like going from, Arby's to going the best steakhouse in the world.
It's daycare to Princeton. You know what I mean?
Crayons to ChatGPT, as Colin Cowherd said.
Yeah.
I'm the dumbest coach in the world.
All right, so check this out. All right, again, we're Twitter's back up. We're monitoring the Phillies.
We are back up now?
They're monitoring the Phillies. Go get Bo.
Oh, there we go. All right, yeah, people are.
But coming up next, people want the latest on A.J. Brown. Well, we have the premier insider in the NFL, Eagles insider, and I'll just say NFL insider too, Bill Colarulo. The latest on A.J. Brown, according to Bill. We have audio of that coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Season wasn't good enough. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met with the media yesterday for their end-of-season presser, talking about where they're going offensively, both the coordinators, schematically, and what the offseason will look like for this team. One thing that Howie Roseman wanted to make clear, this season, not good enough.
If it doesn't end with confetti falling on our head, I don't feel like it's good enough. I know that we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but I believe we can, and I go into every offseason thinking we're going to do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl, and when we fall short, I look to improve.
We just spoke with Tim McManus about what those things may look like this offseason, some final takeaways from the season. We'll also get a chance to talk with James Palmer at 1 o'clock. Kyle Tucker signed a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dodgers last night. What does that do for the Bo Bichette market? Nobody quite knows yet, but the Phillies still regard as the favorites for Bichette. Flyers lost 6-3 to the Penguins last night, and the 76ers host the Cavs again tonight. That game at 7 o'clock. You can listen to it right here on The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Aleve. Sometimes weather and body pain can slow you down, but don't let the pain stop you. With just one pill, Aleve provides up to 12 hours of pain relief so you can keep moving. Use as directed. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best birds talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
The MC Hammer dance from what I'm wearing today, he has the baggy parachute pants.
Yeah.
What I'm wearing today isn't quite the MC Hammer parachute pants, but it's not that far off.
No, they're big pants. Like you got a large size.
They're not that big. You know that the top's actually a medium.
That's a medium?
All the comments were how big it ran.
Yeah.
So I got the large just because I was worried about the waist. I could have probably gotten a medium. I could have gotten a medium. This is a medium top.
You needed a schmedium.
Right. I need a Colarulo schmedium.
Yeah.
So Ray, this is the MC Hammer dance from back and forth. If you're watching on
By
YouTube.
the way, you rap better than you sing.
That's the MC Hammer dance. And he does like a...
Yeah. He was a huge entertainer in the day.
Love MC Hammer.
You look like he came out of a tree stand.
Yeah, so people that don't... this is why you should watch on YouTube, because I wear this getup.
You look like somebody built you on Minecraft.
This is fresh from the Nike app. I had gift cards from last Christmas that I didn't use. And I said, what am I doing? So I went on the Nike. I was on the Nike app. I have so many pairs of sneakers. I was like, do I really need another pair of sneakers? The one pair that I wanted, they didn't have my size. So I'm like, all right, you know what? And I saw this. And it's like, oh, my God, I love that. I love camo. It looks great. So I do look like I'm a hunter.
Yeah.
I do not hunt. I do not. I've never done that on the
You're not firing a 30-06?
Carson Wentz and I aren't slaughtering animals out there right now. But anyway, so so I'm like, you know what? I was waiting to wear it on a Friday, not during Eagles season, so I'm wearing it today. So Ray, where is it out there? It's on Twitter and Instagram. The video or picture of me.
Yeah, the video of you. Yeah,
we're gonna have a new video of you doing that dance.
Awesome. So you can comment if you find it. 975 Middays and 975 The Fanatic on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Correct.
Oh my goodness.
All right.
By the way, I forgot about some great Bo names. How about Bo Schembechler?
Real fast. We're going to air later on the best comments about the outfit. We're going to get the AI voice to give the best comments on the outfit.
Give you fashion police it.
Yeah.
With Joan Rivers.
They can talk about it. Insider Bill Colarulo and A.J. Brown coming up in a second. But you were saying, Bo Schembechler's probably on the list.
Yeah. Bo Diddley?
Bo Diddley.
He's a huge Bo.
It is, but, Ray, do you know who Bo Diddley is?
No.
All right, we're out. Do you know who Bo Schembechler is?
No.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. One of the legendary Michigan football coaches.
Yeah, but he hasn't coached in 30 years.
Yeah, it's true. Ray's a little not of the same vintage. The best one, though.
Bo Schembechler to Michigan's like Joe Paterno to Penn State.
Gotcha.
The one we missed is the 10. Bo Derek.
Oh, Derek. Oh. Wait, yeah, but again.
Do you know who she is, Ray?
10.
Do you know who Bo Derek is?
No.
Okay, Google her.
80
images.
80s. The movie was 10.
80s rocket.
She's one of the women that can have short hair and
she had the braids.
Oh my God! But Halle Berry with short hair, she's beautiful. She looks stunning. With not everybody can have short hair because of the face. Bo Derek with short hair is as beautiful as Bo Derek.
I recognize her.
Yep. There you go.
Bo Derek at that time was right there with the girl from Fast Times at Ridgemont High that came out of the pool.
Yeah, what was her name? I'm forgetting it right now.
Drawing a blank.
Yeah, because she was showed her boobies.
Yeah, but she was just an absolute rocket.
Yep.
Fast Times. It was she had a weird name too. I'm
looking at it right now. This is fascinating.
Phoebe Cates.
Phoebe Cates. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. All right. So A.J. Brown. It's a really interesting conversation. So my gut tells me he's traded. Chemistry's a real thing, man, and even though I don't believe that anybody, because everything that I've ever heard is that AJ, the players love AJ, the organization loves AJ. Jeffrey Lurie went over after he was posting stuff on social media complaining about the offense and hugged him.
Yeah, pulled him over.
So it's not like that this was a TO type situation. It wasn't. So with all that being said, I mean, I don't know, man, making $30 million a year, the play wasn't what it was in previous years. He had a ton of drops. That tells you mentally he's not out there 100% plugged in. You might be able to get with a new offensive coordinator. I think you can get a rejuvenated A.J. Brown. So maybe you stick around for another year. But I think the biggest thing with A.J. right now is I don't think you get a first-round draft pick for him in a trade. So is it worth a second-round draft pick and then taking a potential chemistry issue out of the locker room is it worth it for the talent that we've seen him be on the field?
Well, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered first that are probably taking place, and it's exit interviews. And them being his teammates being asked in those exit interviews about the chemistry of the locker room without asking about him specifically. Because if Howie, and we know how aggressive he is, and he wants to win and reinnovate this offense, taking him away and getting a draft pick does not make you a better offense. Because you're not going to replace the skill set.
Well, also, if you get McDaniel and he wants a lot of throwing, now it does matter. If they would have came back with the same boring offense, does having two wide receivers like that matter as much?
Yeah,
probably not.
Does Devontae Smith step into that role without A.J. Brown? Is he as effective? You may be likely losing Dallas Goedert. You're talking.
I don't like that either.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a lot of weapons lost here, and a tight end is a quarterback's best friend because he is oftentimes the safety valve.
Right. Got to have a tight end. That's for sure. Love the tight end.
Absolutely.
So, Ray.
And they don't have another one.
Ray, so yesterday Florio said it, and I remember the same thing, and he's right. The messaging at the trade deadline from the Eagles wasn't, oh my God, we really want to trade A.J. Brown, but it also wasn't, there's no way we're trading A.J. Brown. The messaging in the media was, listen, they're not going to trade him, but you should still make the phone call because if you give the right offer, they'll take it
and overpay.
So don't think for a second that the Eagles won't trade A.J. Brown. It's all about what they'll get in return. Howie is one of these guys that's probably like, first-round draft pick, I'd trade him right now. Second-round draft pick, what else are we getting?
Yeah.
Is it a second conditional first, right? If I'm only getting a second-round pick, I'm not going to trade him.
Well, he's also assessing what may be available to replace him with via free agency or possible trade.
And what's that guy going to cost?
Yeah. What's the cost per acquisition? All of those things that he has to consider. How is, like, to assemble a good football team or a good team in cap sports, they have to fit three different boxes. I talk about this a lot. You have to fit, A, the skill set is something you need on your team. That person has to fit from a cultural standpoint, and that person has to fit from a fiscal standpoint. There are three it's hard to find all three of those. Does AJ check all those boxes right now? Well, there's one that we don't know he checks, and that is the cultural standpoint in the locker room.
All right, here's insider Bill Colarulo talking about A.J. Brown.
Is A.J. Brown a guy that could get moved? Now, I know it's early, but I'm seeing all over the place. Every national reporter, Schefter, Fowler, I saw it on First Take, all saying they're going to trade A.J. You and I talked about it yesterday with Andrew, saying, yeah, it probably is headed that way. I reached out to a few people with the Eagles who said, don't go there yet. Like, there's a good chance A.J.'s back.
I agree with him. Didn't Tim just say the same thing?
Mm-hmm. Well,
said the same thing.
What percentage chance you give it that he's back?
Based on that, 60-40. See, I believe, based on what he said,
slightly over a coin.
But it's really like it's hard to say because I don't know what the market will be for him. They will explore it. If a team jumps up and says, we got a first-round pick for you, I think he's gone.
Okay.
If it's, well, we got a second, maybe a conditional, it all depends. It all depends. What does AJ say? But I think Bill, and now that I've heard Bill and Tim both say it, the Eagles very much are presenting the front of, we don't have to get rid of him at all.
No, because that helps your leverage, too.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the national guys, the Schefters, and they're reading the headlines. They're saying what everybody else is saying, which is like, the Eagles. Adam Schefter has not talked to anybody that says the Eagles are going to trade A.J. Brown.
No.
Guarantee you that.
No.
That he hasn't. Here's Howie Roseman talking about the whole A.J. Brown thing.
We talked about this, I think, at the trade deadline last time I talked. It is hard to find great players in the NFL, and AJ is a great player. I think from my perspective, that's what we're going out and looking for. Go out here, free agency in the draft, is trying to find great players who love football, and he's that guy. So I think that would be my answer.
There you go.
I hate the way you wrapped it up, though. That would be my answer without a definitive yes. Well,
he can't give you one.
No.
I don't think he knows. So this is what I believe. Ready? They're not going to trade A.J. Brown because they think that it's going to, like, they have to get rid of him because of the locker room thing. They believe he can coexist with everybody.
They can fix that.
They can manage it.
Yeah.
It's just
maybe they can.
I worry about the player. I worry about the drops.
Yeah.
I worry about is it just about the offense or is he always going to be unhappy? He's a guy that's always been unhappy. Coming up, more Eagles. Also, Flyers talk with Jason Martinez. I have to take some responsibility here coming up with the Flyers and what's been happening with them recently. And it's a Waymo Wednesday, but it's not Wednesday. But we have a Waymo story for you. Because Jason, every time we do the story, Jason has to be here for a Waymo story.
It's called Wayno.
Wayno or Waymo. That's coming up next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salciunas, 6 to 10 a.m.
I don't remember
the
that.
Adams Family, and he would say it wasn't too legit to quit, but
It was
he would
like a
say
remix.
it in it. No, he would say it in it. Yeah, it was his Adams Family, so it was terrible.
Wow, horrible.
I am dressed like a modern day version of Hammer.
You look like Chris Kyle, Bradley Cooper in American Sniper.
I look great. I looked at the video they put up on 97.5 The Fanatic on Twitter. I look better even than I thought I did.
Major Sergeant Marks.
The hair looks good. I'm obviously a handsome man. And I think it looks great. I don't know why people are making fun of me, right?
As soon as I walked in and saw it, Ray, I mean, the first thing that came into my mind was,
How about that?
outfit.
Yeah. I was stunned. I was kind of speechless. I still am on it, really. I just appreciate, in a week we've talked about JT's self-confidence and his self-worth.
Right.
You actually might have topped JT. He thinks he's worth $20 million, and you think that's an amazing outfit.
I do. I think I look good in it, too.
Yeah.
But that's like confidence. Is it? Is that confidence or just knowing it?
Now,
I guess that's confidence.
Look, I dress for comfort. Like I just want to be comfortable.
My casual game's probably better than my regular game. I spend real money on sweatsuit sets and sweatpants. And
Like every time I go to Costco, I get a new pair of sweatpants or pajama bottoms. Something.
Mine ain't come from Costco, homeboy.
Do you know who Major Sergeant Thomas Beckett was?
No.
That was Tom Berenger in the original Sniper.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, phenomenal.
That's a great. Behringer totally pulls it off. You're calling me them?
Because you look like you're wearing a ghillie suit. Like you're wearing a bush.
More of a reason why you
You're
should
a
be
bushman.
watching us on YouTube, Ray. More of the reason. You never know what you're going to get. Tune into YouTube, live or on demand. All right, let's do Flyers talk in a second. People are going to use their comments on me coming up, all right? So
You're going to be all over the comments at the end of the show.
I know I am. We're going to do a special just on me. But so before we get to the Flyers talk.
John looks like Ted Nugent's son.
That's a good line. All right, so Waymo is the driverless Uber that is being tested out in Philadelphia right now. Actually, Ray, was the last time when we discussed Uber, Waymo, what did you say to me? More of a chance I'd take a Waymo because the Uber driver I was with was drunk.
Yeah, my Lyft driver, I'm pretty certain, was under the influence.
He was in the bag, as Harry would say?
Yeah. That's not good.
That's not funny, but
No, not good. Not what you want at 1 a.m. going down the highway.
So this isn't from the story's not from Philadelphia, but as Waymo is around Center City, Philadelphia, and is being tested out, and this is going to be the next market that it's in. A lot of people are sending us stories, the Waymo stories. So I think this is from late last year, and the car was driving where it shouldn't have been. Listen.
A scary situation for a Waymo passenger this week after a Waymo car was caught on camera driving down the light rail tracks.
Here comes the train.
The video taken by a bystander near
Hold on a second. What? Could you imagine being in the back of a Waymo and you're driving down the track?
Can you tell the Waymo to stop?
Not driving like over the tracks or stop on the tracks. Driving on the track.
But can you tell the Waymo, like, can you communicate with the Waymo?
I don't think so, given where this ends up going.
I think you can in the event of emergency, as now we're seeing you should be, but I don't think very easily you can get it to stop.
Oh, my God.
All right, go ahead, Ray.
Central and Southern Avenue shows the moment the autonomous car stops on the tracks just before an oncoming light rail.
Oh, get out, get out, get out.
Causing the passenger to run out of the vehicle before the car continues to drive down the tracks near another train.
I got you.
Oh, my God. And you got the stones to get into one of those.
I've been in a Waymo.
that outfit.
I would get it in this outfit. Now,
Oh
the whole
my
train
God.
track thing makes me a little bit hesitant to...
A little bit. A little bit hesitant? What's next? It's going to go down the runway at Philadelphia International?
So the last story, I would rather have that. The last story had people that a mob came up on the Waymos and they didn't know what to do, and people were doing backflips off the Waymos.
Right. They were scared.
They were
It was a scared Waymo.
The Waymos were
They freaked out the Waymo.
They did. Didn't know what to do. And then this one is at the side story. Because you know what happens? The GPS gets screwed up.
Yeah.
GPS has taken me literally to
has no
somebody,
logic.
to somebody's house. And it's like, this isn't the shopping center. For whatever reason, there was some type of a glitch in the address that I gave that took me somewhere else. Right? There was some type of a glitch. The Waymo's on a track. On a train track.
I am not getting into anything that can have a glitch. A computer glitch. I didn't have a cell phone the other day. What if my Waymo loses contact with the GPS?
Well, you're going to get hit by a train.
Yeah, see, I'm out on the Waymo.
Did you hear that the passenger was able to get out and was running away from the
Like in my obituary, if that happened, they'd say, Jason Martinez died because he's an idiot for taking a Waymo that got hit by a train.
Can I offer one final thing from this story? Because I think it's hilarious the way this story ends. They have the expert, this is the guy that's dedicated his entire life to tech. And the way the story ends, forget the first minute 30 where they're telling you about how this car ended up on the train tracks.
These cars, in many circumstances, are safer than human drivers because they don't have all the distractions that a human driver does.
But it'll drive on a train track.
Yeah. This guy. I mean, give me a break.
All right, instant poll on YouTube. Would you still take a Waymo? I'm still on a Waymo.
Still take a Waymo?
Well, as long as I'm not going near the train
You're
track.
assuming people will take a Waymo. A Waymo.
Yeah, would you?
No shot in hell.
No, you're out.
I would say no.
I agree.
I mean, I'm not telling you these stories are making me any more likely to take a Waymo. I still would.
Well, the fact that we have to continue getting stories sent to us, that it's not just a one-off. Every one of these stories is like, this is so rare. And then you find 5 more of them.
It ain't that rare.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Breaking news. It's not that breaking anymore.
All right, well, Jason, after the Anaheim Ducks game, I came on the air and I said I'm back.
Yeah.
It was the Legion of Doom last night at the Wells Fargo Center. This team's for real. It felt like hockey was back. And I'm in. Let's go. I might be a Zamboner, but I'm back. I'm in.
Yep.
The Flyers are 0-5 since that.
They captured you for a brief moment in time.
What the hell happened?
A lot of things. Number one, they're not playing well. They have injuries, but that's not an excuse. Everybody has injuries. You have to fight through it. And their structure's been horrible. They haven't played well. Goaltending hasn't been good. The timing doesn't work out good either. You get Tampa Bay in a home series, and they come in having won 8 straight games playing their best hockey of the year when you're not, and they belt the Flyers at home not once but twice. Then you get Buffalo, who is 13-2 in their prior 15 games, playing really well. They lose there, and then the back-to-back last night in Pittsburgh, and it's not like Pittsburgh was playing well. They had lost 3 straight games, and Pittsburgh comes in and beats them up good again last night. The game wasn't even as close as the score indicated. Every team goes through this. It's an 82-game season. I pointed this out on the podcast that I gave 9 examples of teams that are currently playoff teams that have had streaks like this worse in the season. But the question is this the chickens coming to roost?
Is this a hiccup?
Is it a hiccup? Can they pull out of it? Or is it a fatal flaw? Because they got away with not scoring the first goal and winning games for a while. And that's not a recipe for long-term success as history dictates. Are all these things now, they're paying the price for them?
Right.
We'll see. But, our society now is so determinative, so quick. Oh, see, they're exactly what they thought they were. Well, was Edmonton exactly what they thought they were when they lost 7 of their first 9? Was Tampa Bay that when they started the year 1-7? No. You go through this in a season. You have to see how they pull out of it.
Right. Football's different, shorter season. You lose a couple games in a row, that's toast. We see it with the Phillies.
Yeah. And we freak out.
And you freak out,
Yeah.
even when it happens in September, like, Jesus, what are they doing? And then they bounce back.
Yeah.
The Sixers do it all the time.
There's ebbs and flows to 82 and 162.
Well, let me know when
clearly in an ebb.
Let me know when they're playing well again so I can tune back in.
Well, they play tomorrow, the Rangers.
Is Vladar okay?
Yeah, it's minor, so that's good news. Yeah, that is very good news.
Get me back then.
Yeah, that
that.
certainly helps.
Dynamite drop in there, Ray.
I just need to know. If Vladar's out,
then
count me out.
It's trouble because the backup stinks.
After the news at noon, I want you to answer this question. I just want to give it to you now. I already asked it.
All right, let me get my crayon. Hang on.
What are you going to do this weekend since the Eagles are not playing? Think about it. I don't want an answer now.
Filling the void.
Filling the void.
All right, filling the void coming up. Coming up next, News at Noon, featuring Bill Simmons, Darren Waller, and Michael Jordan, the former basketball player.
How about that?
I can't wait for this. News at Noon with Ray. Coming up next, Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
What's next? I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. That was a lot of the questioning for Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni at their end-of-season presser yesterday, addressing what's the future of the offense, the offensive coordinator, and what some of the plans for the offseason may be. One of the things that they harped on, that they being the media and asking those questions to Sirianni and Roseman, was Sirianni's involvement with the offense both this season and going forward. Here's Sirianni talking about it.
As the head coach, you always have to be oversight of everything. Again, many different ways to do it. I think it's best for the football team when I'm the head football coach. So, we'll see where all that goes as far as that goes.
We spoke to Tim McManus of ESPN about where everything may go earlier in the show. We'll have James Palmer coming up at 1 o'clock. Kyle Tucker signed a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dodgers. What's this do for Bo Bichette's market? We don't quite know. Phillies still regard as the favorite there. Flyers lost 6-3 last night to the Penguins. 76ers have the Cavs tonight at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game here on The Fanatic. This update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Ray Donor, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Jason Bertitas.
So, back in November, I had gotten a message from a guy. I don't know him, but he was in the same fight that I was. He was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, stage 3.
Oh, man.
On January 6th of last year. And he sent me a note saying, I've been following your story, and basically, I could have written it because it's my story. He was a football coach at Haverford High School.
Okay.
And I didn't know him personally. We went back and forth a little bit, sharing our experiences of the physical, mental, and emotional toll. And I'm getting emotional now thinking about it. He passed away on January 13th.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
January 13th, so like a couple days ago.
Yeah. And I saw it on social media. His name's Eric Taylor. From the Haverford area. So I just wanted to acknowledge it. Because the battle is real, and if you know somebody going through it, just be there to support them and help them.
Do you feel? Do you like? Does it hit you mentally? To why wasn't that me? We had the same thing. He died.
Why did it work for me? We had the same exact treatment. He said it. We were doing the same exact treatment. Really, very close on timeline. I was diagnosed like 2 weeks earlier. And I feel a tremendous amount of guilt because I go, why did it work for me and it didn't work for him? He just turned 54 in December.
You guys are even like the same age. Yeah,
I'll be 54 in March. He's got 3 kids.
Oh, my God. What's it? Eric what?
Eric Taylor is his name.
Jeez, man.
So I want to dedicate the show to him today. Just seeing that, it really hit me. And, there's a mental game here, too, so that when people are going through it or they do get to the other side or whatever it is, there's a lot of mental stuff still to unpack.
Well, and you're going through that right now because you haven't been like, your cancer's gone. Well, talk to you in 10 years. You're good.
No, I didn't pump my fist when they told me I was in good shape because there's a tremendous amount of guilt that comes with it. That's the first thing that comes into your mind. So I just wanted to mention that to Eric's family, we're so sorry for your loss. Way too young, and it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for honoring him in that way. Damn. Well, I did now we have to go into making fun of.
No, we can have fun again.
No, I know, but I look at Ray and I'm like, now I got to look at Ray and.
Now I have to look at Ray. Please finish that sentence. I'm very, very intrigued as to where you were going with that. How about that? We're not doing the news at noon.
Yeah.
We're not doing the news at noon.
Let's do the news at noon.
No.
No.
Hold on a second. Ray, do we have breaking news?
Oh, we have breaking news, and this is the news that could break you. Your fears have been realized. We got The Athletic right now reporting that the Mets and Bo Bichette have agreed to a 3-year deal pending a physical.
I've never wanted a guy to fail a physical more.
Oh, my God. What's the money?
We don't yet have money on it. This is Will Salmon from The Athletic. The Mets and Bo Bichette, 3-year deal.
It's probably $150 million a year. They did it. The Kyle Tucker contract screwed everything. So now, if you're Bo Bichette and you say, all right, the Phillies are offering me $280 over 10 years and the Mets are offering me $150, Jason said earlier in the show, Mets are offering me $150 for 3 years, and they'll give me an opt-out out of 2 years, whatever the details are. That's an easy decision. I'm a free agent. Now I'm 31 years old, and I'm a free agent. So the Phillies aren't signing Bo Bichette because the Mets are signing him on a 3-year deal.
And now we feel like we lost something we never had. Unreal. And he goes to the Mets.
Yeah, I'm supposed to talk right now. I'm on the radio. It's kind of important that I say something. Ray sensed it. The minute I saw that last night, I'm thinking this is how they lose him. That somebody decides they're going to swoop in. The Mets get him on short term. It adds to their lineup. He's not under contract for 10 years.
Prevents the Phillies from getting him.
Prevents the Phillies to get him, which is just another reason to do it. Now the Phillies are going to have egg on their face. They just are.
And if they got outbid, that just people will give that as an indictment to the owner.
They're too cheap because they wouldn't pay him $50 million a year. It's just that the Phillies, the Phillies have Bill Colarulo's walking in to say it. The Phillies have Bill come in. The Phillies have lost out on Bo Bichette, according to The Athletic. Bo Bichette will sign with the Mets pending a physical on a 3-year contract. Make sure
we got numbers.
Make sure the YouTube has Bill on camera too, so it doesn't look awkward. What do we got?
We got Heyman reporting.
I'm shocked.
So Ray's giving us the numbers right now.
3 years, $126 million, 42 per season, according to John Heyman.
3 years, 126.
Yes.
So 42 a year for Ricky Bo's pacing the hallways too. 3 years, $42 million a year, not 50. but more money than the Phillies were able to do. We just won't have Ray talk for a second. More, because Bill's trying to get headphones. So
I'm good.
You good?
Well, I'm not good, but yes, I got the head.
3 years, $42 million.
I just don't understand. This comes on the heels of the Dodgers signing Kyle Tucker. I get it. They paid a crazy amount of money. Now the Mets get Bo Bichette. What are the Phillies going to do? Like
They got Ugats.
We're going to get JT, and we're supposed to be, woo!
JT Realmuto just got a 4-year contract from the Phillies now.
This is terrible. I was all excited. We got Jason Stark coming on today on our show. I'm like, oh, he's going to give us the inside scoop.
I had the hashtag Go Get Bo. I was literally just crafting an email saying when Bo Bichette signs with the Phillies, we need a plan for what to do with Ray. I was just talking to Vito about it.
You know what? I still want Ray to walk to work.
I agree with you. What can we do? If the Phillies win 50 games this year, will you walk to work?
No, I think he walks to work now anyway, just as punishment for Dave Dombrowski. It's not your fault, Ray, but someone has to be punished here. We can't get Dombrowski to walk to work, so you're going to have to just do it for us.
Top of the page, today's Bichette Day. Hashtag Go Get Bo.
All right, I'm going to let you guys do your thing because I just have to let this
Send Ricky Bowen. Send Ricky Bowen. I want to hear what he says.
Ricky's furious.
Send him in here. Send him
Ricky, get in here.
I want him as angry as he normally is when he
Bill,
when he
you.
sees me.
Get out! Get out!
Right. All right, so Kyle Tucker goes 4 for 240.
Oh, this is a punch in the gut.
The Mets were trying to get Kyle Tucker. So you know Kyle Tucker ends up screwing the Phillies.
Yeah.
Because the Mets the Dodgers end up screwing the Phillies because if the Mets get Kyle Tucker, they're not in on Bo Bichette.
Yep.
Maybe the Dodgers are in on Bo Bichette, and I'm just being naive. But yeah, the Mets don't get Kyle Tucker. They pivot to Bo Bichette. 3 years, $42 million a year. And the Phillies, and if JT would have signed in the middle of December, we would have been like, we love JT, but like this team's not good enough. This team's all of a sudden not good enough, Ray.
This is what I get for believing in something. I should have never stepped over that line. I should have just stuck where I was. For all off season, I had my mind set. Oh, there's no shot. They can't afford it. They won't do it. There's no shot they could do it. And finally, this week, I finally came over to the other side. I'm like, oh yeah, they could do it. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron. I hate this.
I couldn't have been more right because
I agree.
The Phillies absolutely wanted him, but it was ultimately going to come down to the most money or whatever the best deal was. What do you got?
Here's something that you can criticize this organization because maybe money-wise they wouldn't be able to match it. 2 opt-outs. 3-year deal with 2 opt-outs. Everybody wants one. Phillies never give them.
Maybe they should change that. But Bichette for 1 year and then he can opt out.
I hate that.
Yeah, I hate that too. Ricky Batalico joins us unfiltered. He'll be live at 2 o'clock. But what's your reaction?
This sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, of all teams, you know what? I'm not surprised in a sense that you knew there were going to be other teams in on this. I think there's a lot of people around here that were saying, oh, this is a done deal. Yeah, my ass. This is just not right. I mean, you know what? Not only does he not come to Philadelphia, he goes to the Mets. I mean, come on. That's the worst part about it.
It's the worst possible scenario.
If we would have just heard he went to the Red Sox, would you have been like seething mad?
No,
I'm seething mad.
No,
it sucks.
It's because it gets rubbed in your face every day now.
Now what?
It would suck.
Now what?
It would suck anyway, but it sucks that it's the Mets.
Sucks more.
You said it. Now what?
Now
you give
what?
JT a 3-year contract, and then what?
Yeah, but that doesn't. What
doesn't do anything for the team. It doesn't do anything.
Right. The one thing you were looking for is that little mix of something different. It's like
change the dynamic in the culture. Right?
It's like you're trying to make a potion, but you keep making the same thing.
Yeah, and expecting a different result.
That's insanity.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's bad. This is.
And what can the next plan be?
This is about his Bellinger, maybe, but. Nobody seemed to want him in the first place.
610-632-0975. 610-632-0975.
I mean, jeez.
So more with Ricky coming up at 2 o'clock.
By the way, he's got a great sweatshirt on today.
Hartford Whalers.
The whale.
I have the hat with the ball on the top.
Yeah.
Out of awesome. Mitchell and Ness.
But Ricky's right. This sucks.
It sucks.
I mean, I don't want to make this about the Mets, but it is partially about the Mets.
When Kyle Tucker signed with the Dodgers, 4 years, $240 million, with the luxury tax they're going to pay, Kyle Tucker will end up costing the Dodgers $120 million, over $120 million.
123
a year. 123 a year. The Dodgers, and you'll never hear me bitch about teams are spending too much money. It's not fair. It's not fair. The Eagles outspend everybody. The Phillies nearly outspend everybody. This has sunk the Phillies. It sunk the Phillies. The Dodgers doing what the Dodgers do has sunk the Phillies with Bo Bichette. To the Mets,
Ugh.
I could, honestly, if you would have said Toronto, I knew it was Bo Bichette, and then when I knew that it wasn't, he signed, it's like, oh, he's going back to the Blue Jays. The Mets!
Yep.
That's putting the knife in and just twisting the hell out of it.
610-632-0975. Hashtag go get Bo.
Should they have been more proactive? Should this have been the thing that should they have read that the market was going to change when Tucker signed, and they should have caved to, hey, we're going to give you an opt-out, or hey, we're going to go and do what we need to do to make sure that you're a Philly ahead of Tucker.
Here was the problem. Unless they were willing to do $42 million in that first year, they weren't going to do it.
Well, then it was never real in the first place.
Well, no, but if you can do $28 million a year for 10 years, you can fit it. That's a big difference. The Dodgers are willing to pay $60+ million in luxury tax on one player. Kyle Tucker will cost the Dodgers $123 million. The Phillies were never doing that.
That's what I mean. So it was never real in the first place.
But if you paid him $28 million a year and they spread it out, you could do it.
Yeah,
at $42 million, they weren't going to do that.
I understand that they weren't going to do $42 million. My thing is, if you had gotten out in front of the Tucker deal, if the Tucker deal happens second and you go get Bo, because this week it was they're getting close. There's momentum building to this. They're the favorites of the favorites. If you're sitting there and letting the market happen elsewhere, that's kind of where you get left to lurch because you're not going to pay $42 million for it.
Kyle Tucker,
can you spread it out if you have the opt-outs?
Yeah, but it's just for 3 years.
Yeah, okay.
You can't spread it out for 10 years over 3 years. The Phillies, how they're able to make these things work is they give the long-term contracts. It makes the average annual less money, and that's how they can do it. That's why a lot of teams thought the Phillies were going to do it. When the Mets lose out to Kyle Tucker, they say, we still need an impact player. Screws the Phillies. It's really only a 1-year contract. He can opt out after that. And then it's only $42 million a year. Kyle Tucker's making $60 million a year before the luxury tax.
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, that's unbelievable. The Dodgers don't care about paying the penalty, so they can do whatever they want. The Mets don't care as much about paying the penalty. I don't know where they are salary-wise. I mean, the Phillies were spending more money than them. But
I mean, just 11 hours ago, Bob Nightingale said the Phillies are overwhelming favorites.
Until the Mets lost out. Until the Mets lost out. And then they came in and they said, well, you know what we'll do? We'll give you 42 for the next 3 years, and you can be a free agent after a year. And Bo Bichette wisely said yes.
Yeah, Bob had also said, the Yankees and Mets will now be in a bidding war for outfielder Cody Bellinger.
Yep, that might, after the Bo Bichette thing?
No, that was what he said last night. The Phillies
night.
were favored to get Bo Bichette, and the Yankees and Mets were trying to get Bellinger.
It was always going to be about the best deal for Bo Bichette. It was I'm sure he would have loved to play in Philadelphia, and I'm sure he's going to love to play in New York.
Yep.
And if he gets more money after opting out to go somewhere else, he's going to love playing there too.
Yep.
He's going to play third base for the Mets too, by the way. That just came out.
He's going to play third base?
Yeah.
Vientos, is he a free agent and they move on? Who cares? Regardless.
All right, we got our breaking news before the end of the show like we asked. It's not the news we wanted.
And the thing that sucks is, if this happens before, maybe you think you can bring back Ranger Suarez. Maybe you can allocate that some of that money.
But that ship sailed too.
No, because your rotation's not great anymore. And now he's gone. And guess what's left to pivot to?
Scrap heap.
Back to JT Realmuto. Hey, JT, we love you. We were just kidding. Here's your contract that you wanted. Watch him give JT the $20 million a year that he wants now. Man, there's egg on his face. After the Phillies were more or less middle finger to JT, now we're after Bichette. They lose out.
And now JT's agent has the leverage.
What a disaster. This is a disaster. Eagle season wasn't a disaster. This is a disaster. Oh, my God.
Unbelievable.
Reaction, John and Mannyung. John.
You know what, dudes? I don't even know what to say. I said a day or two ago, there's going to be a lockout next year, and you had to get him. You had to win the World Series this year. You had to do it because now next year there's going to be no season. And guess what? The Phillies fans are going to go into the season super pissed off, super sad, and we're going to lose in the first round, maybe not even make the playoffs with regression. And then fans will be so checked out by 2028. Dombrowski, you messed up taking this and trying to slow roll this thing. Bichette should have been signed 5 days ago before the Tucker deal went through. You played with fire, and now we suck. But good thing we got Adolis Garcia, right? Good thing we got Adolis Garcia. Thank God with his 230 batting average. Absolute joke. I'm not watching this year. screw the Phillies and screw Dombrowski.
There he is.
We have
well
a good
said.
club.
If they sign JT in December, we're not feeling great about the team, but we know that it's a good team. We're not going into the season angry. Maybe some of us are like, they're running it back. We were already, before the Bo Bichette stuff happened, we were already talking ourselves into how the team wins enough games.
Yeah.
Starting pitching, Wheeler comes back, blah, 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 blah. No one's going to feel like that now. We had Bo Bichette on our team who's no longer there. Now we realize the team wasn't good enough. You know who screwed us in the situation in addition to the Dodgers? JT Realmuto. Because if he signs that contract back in December like he should have, before he's a greedy, before he did, if he does that, they're never talking to Bo Bichette. Meanwhile, the Phillies realize, hey, we're actually better with Bo Bichette, not with JT.
Yes.
So they focus their entire attention. Now they're in love.
Yeah. Singularly focused, and they lost out on it. They got outbid.
They got egg in the face.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got outbid. No fan's going to care. Like, I'm going to sit here and say, well, they spend a lot of money, and there's the luxury tax and blah, 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 blah.
Doesn't matter.
Fans are going to say F you and F the luxury tax. You got outbid by the Mets.
The Mets, man.
I mean, seriously, that's what happened. You got outbid by the Mets. I know there's salary tax stuff, and you don't want to spend all that, and you already spend a lot of salary tax. I understand that. You lost out to the Mets, and now you're running back the same team.
Yeah.
After we just got our hopes up for 10 days. Ray, you sensed it. You sensed it today. I was not feeling as good today as I was before. This Kyle Tucker thing sent me in a loop, man. Because when you're paying
everybody in a loop.
When you're paying a player $60 million a year on a shorter term contract, that's why I said, well, what's Bo Bichette worth now? If he was worth $28 million before, he's not worth $28 million now. Well, he's worth $42 million now.
Yep. All on short term. That's the thing. The Phillies' power was, we're going to give you a lot of years. And they don't, you get $42 million a year and you get a chance to be a free agent again at 30, 31.
Cash in
Makes
again.
more sense.
Yes. And what we talked about on Wednesday.
We did.
He could be free agent any year. He's got 2 opt-outs in a 3-year contract.
Hey, this was too good for him to pass up. 120-some million guaranteed, 42 for sure next year. And then if there's a market, you go get it. If not,
you see what the market is, what's available, and you go, okay, I can go out and get more.
Right,
so I'll opt out.
Right before our eyes.
All the power.
Right before our eyes. You know how fast sports change? Right before our eyes, we saw the Phillies are the model because they will give you the longer-term contract to give you more money.
Yep.
And the Dodgers and the Mets just said a big F you to that. We'll give you $50 or $60 million on a short-term contract.
Yep. And you'll get another contract after that.
And the players are saying, yep, that's a better idea.
And here's the moment for everyone. When Uncle Stevie takes over up there that we were all fearful of, that was like, oh, wow, the Mets are going to have all that money to play with. Hasn't come back to bite you a ton. I mean, the Soto deal, they get done. I don't know how many people had set themselves on Soto last year, but they get that done. They have a bad season, but they've outmaneuvered you again.
Yep.
You lost to the postseason at 24, 25, great. Hey.
We have a good club.
Got that division, back-to-back division titles. I'm so thrilled. It was a
fine line
between winning and losing for this team. But the Mets just outmaneuvered you for Bichette. They've got Bichette. They've got Soto. And in an offseason where we were laughing at them 2 months ago, they get the last laugh.
Dave Dombrowski has not had a good offseason.
And
From an optics standpoint and an execution standpoint.
The reason why he hasn't had a good offseason, because he put himself in this corner.
He did. You're absolutely right. He's got no one to blame but himself.
Right. The clip earlier, Morrow talking about money coming off the books. They're talking about the Castellanos and Taiwan Walker contract setting. There's $38 million right there between 2 players. You love that $38 million investment between those 2 guys right now? 42 was the going price to get Bichette.
June 18th, June 20th, and June 21st. Down in, I believe that's the first time the Mets are in town. So that must be a midweek series if there's days off in between.
No, it's a weird series. They have, I think it's a Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. I don't know why, but that's when I'm going on the bachelor trip. That's why I know what those days are.
It is. You're right.
June 19th
absolutely
is
right.
that Friday.
Now batting for the Mets, third baseman Bo Bichette. Boo! F you, Bo! Man. Wow, has things changed here over the last 18 minutes, Ray.
This is bad.
Crap.
This is very, very bad.
Oh, I can't believe it.
610-632.
Why can't I believe it?
Like we thought the Phillies had the inside edge Ken Rosenthal did, Bowden did, all these insiders
Nightingale
said they have the edge because they're willing to go 10 years. And the Mets and the Dodgers said, F that 10 years, we'll just give them $60 or $50 million for a short-term deal.
Here we go. Here's the spin zone. End of the segment spin zone. He could stink.
Well, I mean, it already came in my head that this isn't. And by the way, neither's Tucker. Bo Bichette's not Aaron Judge.
No, he's going to make more money than Aaron Judge.
I actually said that.
Crime.
I said to a listener, that Phillies chick on on Instagram, who was like, "Oh my God, Kyle Tucker and the Mets," and I'm like, "Screw Kyle Tucker. He's not that good. Bo Bichette's not that good. He would have been that good here, but he's not that good on the Mets."
Well, no, the whole thing was that this is the funny thing for me, and this is maybe how I'll cope today. I laughed at this fan base because we talk all the time about how much of an albatross that Turner contract is and how much people can't stand Turner in this town. And, oh, it's a fake 300. He can't field his position. You were going to give out another Turner contract. Everyone was signing up for another middle infielder that we're not sure could fully field the position that he plays, that's going to age into his 30s, that his biggest asset is he hits 300, and he's going to give you teens to low 20s homers. They were signing up for another Trey Turner, and everyone was like, yes, sign me up for that. Like, it is, you lose it. You lose out on this, it sucks. But
the problem is your lineup's not fixed.
Oh yeah, this is not better.
That's
for
the bigger
Phillies.
problem. But Bo Bichette's Bo Bichette. I'm not worried about the Mets aren't winning the World Series now because of Bo Bichette. He's a good player, but your lineup isn't fixed now. And it took us JT Realmuto not signing for most. I realized it for most people to realize this lineup's not good enough.
Yeah.
Now we're going to be talking about the outfield and who hits behind Bryce Harper and all that other crap. Epic disaster. 610-632-0975. Your reaction, Bo Bichette signing with the Mets. That's next. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Bo Bichette is a Met. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. It might rhyme, but it's not very fun. Bo Bichette signs a 3-year, $126 million contract with the New York Mets. That's $42 million per year. There are 2 opt-outs. He gets a full no-trade clause, and he will be the third baseman for the New York Mets to open up the 2026 season. So the Phillies have lost out on someone that they've been linked to pretty much over the last month of free agency. JT Realmuto's still out there to come back as your catcher, but the pivot points for the Phillies starting to grow limited as the hot stove continues to burn in Major League Baseball. A brutal development for the Philadelphia Phillies as they will not get Bo Bichette to add to their lineup. This comes on the heels of a brutal exit for the Eagles from the postseason. Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni met yesterday. Here's Roseman talking about how the season wasn't good enough.
You know, if it doesn't end with confetti falling on our head, I don't feel like it's good enough. I know that we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, but I believe we can, you know, and I go into every offseason thinking we're going to do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl, and when we fall short, I look to improve.
Sixers got blown out the other night. They got the Cavs again tonight at 7. You can listen here, and the Flyers lost 6-3. Everything's kind of stinks right now. This update's brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develop better athletes, better people through youth and high school sports info. PositiveCoach.org. I'm Ray Dunn for 97.5.
million. John Clark tweets, source says the Phillies offered Bo Bichette much more guaranteed money over more years. Duh. Yeah. I think we know that they're offering more than the $126 million. Not trying to rip John, but yeah, we know that. According to Bob Nightingale, 7 years, $200 million was the offer. Got to tell you, Jay, 7 years, $200 million ain't getting it done, homeboy.
Yeah, when that's not getting it done, boy.
So that's $28.5 million a year.
Okay.
Which is...
But he sees the economics continuing to rise.
But he's guaranteed 42 over 3. Obviously, a lot of times I don't know if the agent went back to the Phillies and said, hey, this is what we're looking at, and they had an opportunity to match. Sometimes that happens. Like with Bregman in the Red Sox, they didn't give him the contract. They said, hey, I'm just telling you your contract's not the best offer. So they might have went back to him and said, hey, we have a better contract. Make us your best offer. Maybe go shorter term, whatever. And they selected the Mets over what the Phillies were offering. I'm just telling you this, and I'm not telling you that Bo Bichette's worth any more to the Phillies than 7 years, $200 million. That's not even close to what he was given by the Mets. Because he's a free agent in 3 years. He can be a free agent in a year.
Yeah.
And if he continues to play the way he's playing,
capitalizing,
he makes that money in 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. His agent's got an outlook. Basically, it laid out for him. If you opt out after this year and you're able to get this, here's in total what you can make. And it's more than that $200 million over 7.
If they would have went 9 years and another $256 million over 9 years, is it still not enough to get it done?
I don't think so. Because I think
agree
if you're
with you.
him, multiple opt-outs, $42 million.
That's the difference.
You have basically a bet. He's making a bet that one of the next 3 seasons, I'm going to play so well, I'm going to get the contract that takes me into my late 30s. And it's $42 million guaranteed if he doesn't.
Or, no, it's 126 guaranteed.
Well, I mean $42 million per season.
Let's say he comes out and he's just above average. No one's going to give him more money. He's making $126 million over 3 years. It doesn't mean he's going to be a bad player after 3 years. He might be a $25 million player after 3 years.
Exactly. So
he may be worth 40.
He can push off the roll of the dice of going into free agency to whenever he wants.
Yeah, to when it suits him best.
Right. This is the greatest thing that could ever happen to a guy. You get $42 million if you suck. You get $42 million if you're great, and then you could go get a big payday again.
Unreal.
I hate this.
Yeah.
He sees a free agent class or what's out there in a specific season.
Right.
Sees that he's at the top of it, and he's going to get overpaid because he's the best available.
The
he
agents,
opts out.
The agents are talking to teams well before he needs to decide whether he's opting out or not. And he'll have an idea of what the market is and around the money. And if it's not there, he'll opt back in.
Yep.
Like with Bregman. Bregman had options. He had the opt-outs up in Boston. He took it after 1 year, and he parlayed that in $1.75 with the Cubs. So, yeah, the opt-out's great. Bryce Harper didn't want the opt-out. They get the opt-out. So the Phillies, first of all, like whether the Phillies are willing to do opt-outs or not because they haven't been willing to do it before, I don't think they would do $42 million a year. It's too much. They were offering 28 because that's what they can fit to not hit that next level of the salary tax where you're paying double the salary.
Which is exactly the corner. They put themselves in this corner. Dave Dombrowski has both built a good club and a club that he is the reason why they can't get over the, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that John Middleton needs to, make sure there's nothing left in the bank account. Like, he spends plenty. The problem is what he's spent on, what they've spent
Hadn't been good enough.
Right? There's no returns. This is not a store. You can't say, I want my $20 million back for Castellanos this year. I want my $18 million back for Taijuan Walker this year. There's $38 million. There's $38 million. And then that feels mean for the season that Walker had, but that's $38 million right there that you could use.
But also from a fan standpoint,
We have a good club.
his whole, we have a good club, and if this happens and if that happens, we beat the Dodgers, and look at the Dodgers, and they won the World Series. The urgency that wasn't there with Dombrowski. And then fans were looking at it and saying, well, we know the team's good, but are they good enough? Like, how far away are they from the World Series? They're not the same team they were a couple years ago where it felt like they were right there. And then the team is telling you, you're right. We could be better if we did something different. And then they lost out on that.
Yeah.
They have a huge egg on their face after this.
And here's the thing. Are they a better team this year than they were last year, where they came up way short?
No.
It's the fact of the matter.
Bullpen's better. Rotation isn't.
Nope.
Lineup isn't.
Bryce Harper's getting older.
Is this lineup better? Kyle Schwarber just had his career year. Can you count on 56 bombs?
Is he going to repeat that? Probably not.
They'll win 88, 90 games, maybe more. But, I mean, isn't this the same thing we've seen? All right, so let's go over the lineup again. And like, is JT back? I don't even want him back at this point. I mean, I do. Don't get me wrong.
You're too soured on him right now.
No, but you know what?
You're too raw, John.
Let me tell you something. If he signs a 3-year, $42 million contract, whatever Jim Salisbury was saying that he was offered, if he signs that December 15th, when he goes through a rough stretch in May or whatever, I'm a JT Realmuto fan. I love JT. It's been a good trade. He's been a good Philly. Put him on the Wall of Fame. Now, where he wants this respect and he wants $20 million a year and everybody else is signing. Kyle Schwarber, when he signed, he didn't hold the Phillies by the balls. And there's no market out there for you, but you still won't sign it. And we're in the mid-January, and you get back in. Like now, what's Realmuto's mentality about this? They totally turned their attention away from him and went to try to get Bo Bichette, which would have eliminated the Phillies getting him.
And he knows that. He feels like, are
the Mets going to sign him too? They're going to double screw us?
You know what?
I hope so.
If you want to give $20 million in 3 years to JT.
Everybody wants to boo Bichette. You let me at Kyle Tucker when he comes in here. Because that's the one. That contract screwed him.
Yeah. Look, you got to get – I hate to do this, but you got to give the Mets credit.
Absolutely.
The Tucker thing happened, and they pivoted.
Wisely and smartly.
And they pivoted quick.
And the silence the day, too. Like, this was a left hook. Nobody saw this. Like, you saw it coming in the sense that you could see them getting in on Bichette. But they did it, noon? 12 hours after the news came out last night?
They acted quick, aggressively, and got it done.
Right. They caved to what he wanted. They gave him $42 million. They gave him opt-outs.
But from their perspective, let's say he has a great season, he opts out, he goes somewhere else. What does that do for the Mets? They didn't give up a ton of draft picks for him. They didn't give up a great young player to get him. It's $42 million in a year. What's that?
There's no cost per acquisition.
There's nothing. They signed him, and he's gone. And now you don't have that long term. Might actually be a relief not to have it long term based on what you saw. Who knows?
Very well could be.
This is the market, and everything will change when we go through the new CBA. But this is the market changing from the Phillies' philosophy to what everyone else is going to start doing. And it's
the players got the power.
Yeah.
Well, they did it.
The transfer portal.
If you remember, and it didn't work out for the Phillies, they signed Jake Arrieta, $35 million a year for 3 years?
Ugh. Yeah.
And the whole idea was we got him shorter term, but we increased the more money per year because we wanted to get it done. Now, he sucked, and it was a bad signing.
Yeah.
But Clentak, they did that back then. And
But it wasn't a noose around your neck for 9 years.
right, and I was fine with that. I love the shorter term, get it done. But I understand. I do
Makes
understand.
it more intriguing.
I do understand the financial constraints that are there from John Middleton's standpoint. He spent $370 million last year. They're not the Dodgers. They're not the Mets. They're not the Yankees. It's hard for me to argue with any fan out there that he didn't just get outbid by the Mets because he did.
No, he did. And they gave him something that the Phillies weren't willing to give him, the 2 opt-outs. That was probably the difference, the non-starter.
James Palmer,
maybe they would have matched the money.
James Palmer's coming up at 1 o'clock, NFL Insider. His dad's also Scott Palmer, who's a legend in Philadelphia TV, and he's worked for the Phillies for the last 25 years. James is a big Phillies fan.
Oh, no doubt.
We'll get his reaction to it as well. Let's get some reaction coming up on the phone line, 610-632-0975. We have John and your phone call, 610-632-0975. How pissed are you at the Phillies for not landing Bo Bichette?
I'm mad because we didn't get the news at noon, too.
We missed that. All right.
Oh, well.
Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
The Fanatic's Andrew DiCecco.
It's been a long time since I've been this sick.
No one cares.
You had said that there's a Met fan that listens to the show that you were smoking cigarettes with outside of a game.
Obviously, yes. Up at Citi Field, I just heard someone yell, "Ray Dunn!" All Mets gear, listens to us strictly for the misery. And I want to know if Rico's out there right now listening, because I thought of him almost immediately for this. That
Rico
this is,
Bronya?
Not quite.
Played for the Mets.
Not Rico Bronya.
But yeah, Rico listens to us and listens to us almost every day, but got into listening to Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio because he was enjoying the misery of the Mets beating the Phillies.
Cool.
I'm sure that he's in his glory right now.
Cool. Well, congratulations.
What's up, Rico?
I'm absolutely off. I'm Boba said I've met. Breaking news about 45 minutes ago. I am sick. And I honestly, I've never come so close to cursing on the air. I had to really, really stop myself. I'm so pissed.
Yeah.
So you were there's something from, is it Nightingale?
Yeah, Bob Nightingale. Here's a tweet that he just put out. The Phillies had agreed to Bo Bichette's request for a 7-year, $200 million deal last night and believed they would sign him until the Mets swooped in with their 3-year, $126 million offer after losing out on the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. Trickle down.
He was signed, sealed, delivered. Not signed, but
we could have been celebrating today.
They
the paper.
They had agreed to it. And
why wasn't it just signed as soon as they agreed?
Well,
get me a witness.
Maybe. I mean, if I'm the agent, do you wait for Tucker to sign, or is it independent of that? It just depends on the contract. If you're getting the money you're looking for, and it's like, you know what, like that's what we're looking for, we're good. And then it's like, all right, like we agree, but you didn't sign it. And then the Kyle Tucker stuff thing happens.
Is that an oral agreement?
No. Well, I mean, it is, but it doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It doesn't mean squat.
And then the agent didn't know the Tucker thing was going to happen either, because they had the agreement,
Right.
and then the Tucker thing happens, and the agent's like, "Hold on."
Yeah, I mean, people are going to criticize.
My phone's ringing.
People are going to criticize the Phillies for not getting it done before Tucker, which now in hindsight might have been the better thing to do.
But we don't know if they were waiting on Tucker to begin with.
Yeah, this is there's no other way to put it. This sucks. This really does, and this is a killer for the Phillies. If you think about now, and like right now, it might be the worst of it. But are we going to, like, Ray, are we, like, we're counting down pitchers and catchers? Yeah, Phillies, let's go win 100 games this year.
No, man, we're counting down to the catcher. Can't wait to see all that money that JC just made.
So now the buzz at the beginning of the season is only because it's the beginning of the season. Yep. It's not a fresh buzz that you would have had with Bo Bichette. Spring training isn't the fresh buzz that you would have had with Bo Bichette. Now it's, now we're going to sign JT. And we had the same lineup that wasn't good enough before. Yeah, Garcia's now good enough to back cleanup behind Harper again, which he's not. Alec Bohm is your cleanup hitter. Like Jesus.
Yeah.
7, it was agreed to.
It was agreed to.
And then Tucker happened.
They had agreed to Bo Bichette's request for 7 years, $200 million.
Unbelievable. I don't, like, Uncle Jamie texted me and said, well, like, what do you do with the lineup? And he said, put Bryce Harper in right field. Bryce Harper's not playing right field. He's your first baseman. Stop. Yeah. Enough of that. I don't want Bader back. They had their outfield. That's the problem. Bo Bichette plays third base or second base, and you trade Bohm. That's how you solve it. You insert one player and you trade the other.
Yep.
There's nobody to sign now. Bryce Harper, I don't want him playing right field.
So
I don't want Bohm at first base.
No desire for Bellinger?
I just don't think it's realistic. He's going to make close to 40 as well. He's a left-handed hitting outfielder. They're already lefty heavy.
Yeah.
Like, where are you going to play him? You signed Garcia's making $10 million a year. He's not a true center fielder. I mean, that probably helps the Yankees if the Yankees and the Mets were really the two that were in on Bellinger, Ray.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if you're Bellinger right now, you just say, all right, yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of left without a chair.
Go to the Yanks.
Last man standing.
I don't know. Dodgers probably have some money left over.
Oh, my goodness.
Why not? They could sign everybody.
Yeah,
let's put this out on the text board. How many games did the Phillies win next year? Because this will be a huge overreaction. If I said that they were still a 90-win team when I thought they were re-signing JT, then I have to believe they're still a 90-win team. What I didn't believe is they were going to win the World Series. Because what happened the last couple years, why should the team be any better this year unless you're capturing one of these one of these moments that are that you can't explain.
Yeah.
Like the team starts playing hot at the right time. There's that right chemistry in the clubhouse. Like it's just like they were destined to win it.
You get on the
don't know if
heater.
that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't believe it.
Vegas has them at 91.5.
You don't believe what?
I don't believe this. I don't believe in the whole wild card series thing. The whole, you're such a disadvantage because you get cold. The Mets win the division this year. You play in the wild card series. Let the boys get hot.
I mean, at this point,
I'm just saying things at this point to try to help myself feel better.
At this point, I only
Not working.
We're on the radio and we're on YouTube, and I don't really know what to say because I'm so pissed. And this is such a
what you'd
gut
like
punch.
to say the FCC is preventing you from saying right now.
But this is such a gut punch. Seriously, could it be any worse? He goes to the Mets.
Yeah, that's the salt in the wound.
You had him signed. Tucker signs for this ridiculous. Like the Dodgers have screwed baseball. The Dodgers have ruined baseball.
They really
There's going to be a strike or there's going to be a lockout
because of the Dodgers. Yeah.
We're not going to have baseball next year because of the Dodgers and the way that they operate.
Yeah.
And the Phillies come out and offer, according to the reports, yup, we agree to it. And then the Tucker deal happens last night. Everything changes. The Mets come off the top rope, and Bichette says, you know what? Let's do it. And it was too much to pass up. And that's where we are right now. Bill in Utah. Bill, what do you got?
Hey, I really think the Phillies kind of hurt themselves. They didn't make themselves better. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't even make a wild card next year. I mean, barely miss it. But, I mean, it's really possible that the Phillies are sitting at home in October, early October. Yeah, I mean, you guys are talking about who we missed out on. Who's still probable to be traded, like Roberts or anybody like that? Is there any trade that could come along and make us a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, here's the problem with it. Thank you, Bill. That, like, you can't just go out now and say, well, we'll just go get some other $30 million a year player, $28 million a year player. The reason you were going to be able to get Bichette was you were moving on from Alec Boehm and you weren't going to sign JT.
Yeah.
There's no player out there that is the next guy in free agency that's a perfect fit for what you're looking for on the team. Right-handed bat, plays the infield. There's somewhere for him to play. Unless you're making a trade, and I mean, maybe at this point they do. I don't know. Maybe they realize that they need to make a trade and they take a big swing. That'd be great. I just don't know who it is.
But then again, if you're getting something good, you have to give up something good. So now there's a cost per acquisition.
Which you didn't have before. Aiden Miller.
Yeah.
Their top prospect. Now maybe he becomes...
He's on the
available.
block. Yeah.
Yeah. And now JT. Now JT comes back. People are going to feel different about JT.
Yeah. Because he's part of this equation. By proxy.
He is.
There's a bad taste in your mouth about JT.
Yeah.
Last year, the last wild card team in the National League had 83 wins.
Phillies are still a playoff team. Okay. Here's how they're not. Ray and I have talked about this many times. Chris Sanchez, I believe, pitched 214 innings last year, including the playoffs. By far his career high.
Yeah.
You remember what happens, or we've seen it enough where guys that come off career high in innings,
down next year.
Next year in spring training, the velocity doesn't come right away. And then it's like, and then they start the year on the DL. Zach Wheeler's not ready to come back until May or June, and he's not the same guy.
Yeah.
So now your rotation is Luzardo, Taijuan Walker, who's pitching in the World Baseball Classic. That's never good for pitchers.
Nope.
Andrew Painter and Aaron Nola. They're your top four starters. That's how you win 70 games next year.
And
this offense isn't going to carry you, Jason.
And the start of the year could be really poor.
And here's how you win 90 games. You don't have those issues, and because their bullpen's really good.
Yeah, but anytime a team enters a season with that many question marks,
there's question marks.
You're on dicey footing.
I worry about Chris Sanchez being healthy for an entire year.
And you got to worry about Wheeler.
He's been great. You worry about Wheeler coming back. Maybe he comes back May 15th and he looks like the old Wheeler.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, what is it, a coin flip?
They're just thinner at the high-end pitching. Luzardo's a great piece. He's a great piece. Aaron Nola's not.
Yeah.
Taijuan Walker, you're lucky to have. He's also making $18 million a year. But at least he's a starting pitcher. Andrew Painter got lit up in AAA last year.
What do you think Dave Dombrowski thinks of what happened?
We have a good club.
That's what I think.
Fine line.
I think he thinks we have a good club. He's got his feet up on that. I mean, right now,
is he furious the Mets swooped in?
What would Howie Roseman be doing right now? Throwing stuff around his office.
Yeah, he'd be wrecking it like a heavy metal band at a hotel.
You think Dombrowski's
Howie, get it done.
You think Howie's
out the
doing
window?
It? You think Dave Dombrowski's doing that?
No.
Nope.
We have a good club.
That's what he said.
What's the reasoning behind that?
We still have a good team we feel comfortable with.
Coming up, we've asked the text line how many wins for the Phillies this season. Does this feel like the window's closing even a little bit more right now? And let's get some reaction. Bo Bichette is a Met. How much do you blame the Phillies? All of it? Because a lot of it is just the circumstance.
They had a deal.
They had a deal. They thought they had a deal. But should they, when they came back to the Phillies, should they have said, no, screw that, we can't lose this player? 610-632-0975. The Phillies have been outbid by the Mets for Bo Bichette. Your thoughts? Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Now on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
This is the worst. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. If you weren't too disappointed about the fact that the Eagles season ended a week ago, or the fact that the Sixers got blown out Wednesday night, or the Flyers have lost 5 in a row, 4 of those coming in regulation, those last 4 games, then hey, might I present you with the news that Bo Bichette is a Met. Bichette signs a 3-year, $126 million contract to go to the New York Mets, $42 million per year. He gets an opt-out after each season. He gets a no-trade clause, and he'll play third base for the Mets. So the Phillies now left scrambling for what's next. And what exactly is next could be signing JT Realmuto. Other than that, options right now in the free agent market, a little bit limited, as the stove has heated up quite a bit over the last couple of days, and really the last 24 hours with Tucker going to the Dodgers, and now the pivot for the Mets, taking Bo Bichette away from the Phillies, who were regarded as a favorite for quite a while. That's the latest from the Phillies side of things. From the Eagles, you had the end-of-season pressers yesterday. Sirianni and Howie Roseman talking about offensive coordinators. And tonight, the 76ers try to redeem the city with a win over the Cavs at 7 o'clock. You can listen to the game here on The Fanatic. This update's brought to you by Mothers Against Drunk Driving, victims of drunk and drug driving. Your grief is unique, but you're not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call a 24-hour victim helpline 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best bird stock in town. 97.5 The Fanatic.
But that documentary was unbelievable.
It was unreal.
I mean, must watch isn't even the word for it. What a maniac.
It got more and more insane as it went on.
Wow.
One of the best docs I've seen.
Uncle Jamie on the text line. Bo Bichette, if you're just tuning in, Bo Bichette is a New York Met. He signs a 3-year, $126 million contract, $42 million a year, but also an opt-out. So he can be a free agent after 1 year. So he can opt out after year 1, after year 2. This off the heels of Kyle Tucker late last night signing a 4-year, $240 million contract with the Dodgers, also with opt-outs, also with money deferrals, but it also ends up costing the Dodgers essentially $123 million a year for Kyle Tucker. I mean, it just that's broken. That's broken. You can't like that. That will ruin baseball. That kind of stuff will ruin baseball. You can't have that.
Yeah.
You can't have it. But it's within the perimeter of playing the rules. I can't be mad at the Dodgers for doing it.
No, they're abiding by the system that's in place. The problem is the system needs to be replaced to even the playing field. The haves and you have the haves and the have-nots, and then you have the really have.
And then you have the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You have the haves, you have the have-nots, and then you have the Pirates and those. Because there's other teams that are smaller markets that won't spend this kind of money, but they're still competitive.
Yeah.
And then you have the doormats that don't spend money, that don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you have the Dodgers on the other end of the spectrum.
Yeah. So far on the other end of the spectrum that nobody's even in the same universe with them.
And they've gotten to that side of the spectrum. But to me, it's about the steps that led to this building. Like if you're the Red Sox, you win with Betts. You decide, we're done with Betts. We're trading him. Okay. Is that the Dodgers' fault that they're the ones that end up capitalizing on trading for him? Like, okay.
They had the prospects.
Time's run out with Freeman in Atlanta. And the way it all ends there is kind of weird. It was weird. I blame the agent there more than I blame anyone else. But everything ends there in Atlanta. Freeman ends up with the Dodgers. 29 other teams, like, they've accrued all this talent. But now it's become, they're the big bad Dodgers. They were very close to losing the World Series this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they keep signing more players, but they're not doing anything differently than the Phillies were doing. The Phillies can't do as much.
Right, and some of the bets that the Phillies have taken have failed, and some of the margin pieces they've tried to get in there have failed.
For sure.
And the Dodgers have done a better job at the margins, better job at the big ticket signings.
This comment that somebody had on Twitter is so spot freaking on, and it's something I talked about before. In the 1980s, if you owned Norman Brayman was a car dealer.
Yeah.
The former Eagles owner. He owned car dealerships and was very wealthy. Owned car dealerships. He bought the Eagles from Leonard Toews for like $50 million or something like that. Car dealers ain't buying NFL teams in 2025.
No.
You got to be a billionaire.
You got to be a tech billionaire.
Jeffrey Lurie wouldn't have been able to buy a team.
He had movie money.
Yeah, he had Regal Cinema money, but he didn't have the money that these owners do right now.
No.
The text is, we're a big market team being run like a mom and pop shop. And he's right.
Yeah, he's not wrong.
Steve Cohen is a billionaire. Not that the Middletons don't have a lot of money and not that they've been cheap, but they're not the Mets and they're not the Dodgers and they're not the Yankees.
No.
Even the Yankees aren't the Mets and the Dodgers anymore.
Like even Josh Harris, the Harris Group or whatever. Like that's money on a whole different level.
The new owners, the NFL owners, it dwarfs anything that any of the older owners are.
Yeah.
Bob Kraft, the Kraft Empire and everything else, he ain't Josh Harris.
Nope.
He's just not.
Think about Jerry Jones, who was in oil.
Yep.
Right? And and what that team's worth now.
Unbelievable.
It's disgusting. Kevin Cooney tweeted out, our very own Kevin Cooney. So no Bregman, no Bichette, a JT overpay coming, and a weaker starting rotation without Suarez. Yikes.
Yeah, do you pivot to Suarez if you know this is coming? Does he take $2 million less a year? He signed for $30 up there with the Red Sox. Does he take $28 million a year from the Phillies to stay on a 5-year contract? Maybe he gives them a 4-year deal. I don't know. Is this team better with Ranger Suarez in that rotation?
Yeah.
Now, you don't have JT still.
No, you're better with Suarez. You're better with adding any sort of talent here that we're devoid of. The back end of your rotation's a question mark. The lineup after 3 is a question mark. Well, actually, if you ask Dave Dombrowski, the lineup after 2 is a question mark.
We have
don't
a
know.
good club.
Yep.
Will Harper be elite again?
If Howie Roseman was the GM of this team, Does this happen?
No. There would have been more urgency. You wouldn't have been, failed on other people's timelines. He gets things done. He swoops in. He did what the Mets did.
Yep, for sure. Found a way to work.
Done.
Yep. What's the text line? We asked on the text line how many wins, and whatever else is there is good.
We could unload for an hour on this. Dan in Harrisburg.
Yeah.
They will go 81-81. Window is closed similar to when they went 102-60 in 2011 to only go 81-81 in 2012 and finish third. That's cool. I miss names like Altair, Ruff, and Quinn anyways.
No.
That's where we're at.
Darren Ruff and Roman Quinn. Aaron Altair, don't do it. I do not believe they'll be 81-81. However, the case is easy to be made how that happens. And we just talked about it. The rotation isn't deep. You lose one of those starters, one of your top starters, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. All right, what else you got?
Texter here, this team's going to win 82 games max and miss the playoff. Dombrowski is a clown.
We have a good club.
He's trending, by the way. Dave Dombrowski.
Oh, my God.
Can't imagine for a good reason.
How do you recover from this? Spring training starts, don't get me wrong. But from a fan's perspective, we already had him. Some people are blaming us because of the video we put out yesterday about the. By the way, we weren't the only people that thought the Phillies were the favorites. They had an agreement with them.
John Clark tweeted out an hour ago that the deal with a clip from Ken Rosenthal that it was going to be done.
Yeah, we're being blamed pretty bad. People
literally
are
an hour ago.
Job.
I'll try and find the tweet.
Listen, hashtag my bad.
Hey, Donovan Chestnut.
Yeah,
That's on us.
If it helps you recover from this, you can blame me. Just keep listening.
Yeah.
John Clark, 1 hour ago. Bo Bichette is expected to end up with the Phillies, according to Ken Rosenthal. He strongly feels the Phillies will land him. He had the second best average in baseball, blah, blah, blah. And Ken Rosenthal in the tweet below.
It's from late last night.
Yeah, from 13 hours ago.
Which
with it,
is the credit to the Mets. Last night, it was not what a pity party. We lost out on Tucker. It was okay, how much money is it going to take for Bo Bichette to be a New York Met?
So was this a quick pivot? Did they say, all right, if we lose out to Tucker, we're going to go after Bichette? Or did they, after losing out to Tucker, say, let's go after Bichette? You know what I mean? Like, was this the strategy? Were they always going to do this, that they lost out on Tucker?
Probably. I think maybe the big-name reporters missed on this because they were thinking, well, Bellinger makes so much more sense. They'll just go out and get another outfielder. Like, that's what they're going to do. Where would Bichette play? But that was always the question here. Where would Bichette play? Was he going to play third? Seems like
he's never
fine
played
there.
third.
Yeah. Which, again, here's like the max coping mechanism that you could go with right now. He's never played third, and a year and a half ago, he was a guy that people were like, wow, this has looked pretty bad. Like, this could turn the wrong way for his career.
Maybe after the first year, he's saying, good luck me opting out of this deal. Thank God I'm making $42 million.
Right. And, hey, New York ate Juan Soto alive for the first week. They're paying $42 million for this guy who's never played third base. He played in a media market where they had people who were paid to talk about the sport confused at why free agency was taking so long earlier this year. It's not exactly the biggest baseball town in the world.
Remember when I blew a gasket over the bench Jalen Hurts stuff?
Yeah.
Because it was so loud, and it was being said by people that weren't lifelong Eagles fans that were just saying it. They didn't really believe it.
They were
just saying it.
regurgitating the noise.
But it's like that's what you say. Well, bench Jalen Hurts. Like that's the next. I've been doing this whole thing where Hurts isn't good enough. Hurts isn't good enough. Bench Jalen Hurts. So it was a fake take. It wasn't even like a real opinion. In New York, it's along the same lines of the noise towards the Eagles.
Yeah.
That's the noise at baseball in New York. That's the noise against the Yankees, so much more, but also the Mets.
Same with Boston. Yeah.
If Bichette comes out and he's not hit, like they were saying about Juan Soto after the first 2 months, he's never going to be good enough to live up to this reputation.
Yeah.
They were calling him like they were wish that they didn't do the contract anymore. What is Bo Bichette? Bo Bichette played in Toronto. Is he hearing that talk up there in Toronto?
It's all about the Maple Leafs in Toronto.
That if you're a hockey player, that's where you hear the toxic talk.
That the Maple Leafs are what the Eagles are here.
And what baseball is in New York.
Yes.
And if you go up there, big free agent. Now, here's
you're
the
anonymous as a baseball player in Toronto.
Think about how good a deal this is for the Mets. Worst case, after a year, if he's great, you have to negotiate a new contract or you let him leave.
Yeah.
The worst case is he stinks in. It's $126 million 3 years, and then he goes. I mean, that's it.
But yeah,
that's worst case.
You don't have the noose for 7 years. Bill Colarulo with a tweet from the top wrote, tell me what you think of this take. He says, the problem isn't the Phillies. The problem isn't Bo Bichette. The problem is Major League Baseball. As much as the players are against the salary cap, it's needed. These contracts are ruining the game.
Yeah, we said at the beginning of the show with Tucker.
Yep.
This is the type of contract that literally will divide the teams.
Yep.
It'll divide ownership, and players still don't care because they don't want a salary cap. But you will get ownership that says, no, you know what? I don't care. We're not playing this year then.
Yeah, they'll lock out.
This is what we're going to do.
They'll lock out. It's the same thing that happened in the NHL. They lost an entire season because the players were so against the salary cap.
Unbelievable. This is why you need more urgency in the offseason. Dave Dombrowski at that press conference, much different than we saw from Howie Roseman yesterday. Dave Dombrowski at that press conference. The tone of the press conference was, we have a good club. Ray, do we have the, can you find the where he's going like, oh, well, if the throws to the other side of home plate, and the Dodgers, and if this happens, and if that happens. So much so that we were celebrating a World Series when the Dodgers won because Dave Dombrowski was doing that. Yeah. And, that was his urgency level.
Yeah. Which is to say, he didn't have any.
Let's go to Cousin Ryan in Ardmore. Cousin Ryan, go ahead.
Hey, guys. How are you?
What's up, Ryan?
Crappy.
You know what? I'm very disappointed in the brand new news that is coming out. And, I think it's about time that Dave Dombrowski take a ride out of Philadelphia. He's overstayed his welcome. He's running our team back again for another year. And like you guys just said, his level of urgency is not there. His actions and words are not lining up.
Well, I think his words and actions are lining up.
We have a good club.
Yeah, because of what he said, unfortunately. I wish he would have said, no, we need to be better. We need to, and then acted with urgency. That we heard yesterday from Howie? You're damn right it was.
The Bo Bichette thing kind of happened by accident because JT was being a pain in the ass about signing.
Yeah.
And the opportunity presented itself, and they missed out on that too. So by dumb luck, they almost lucked into getting Bo Bichette.
To getting better.
And it would have been better. As it stands now, you go back with your tail between your legs with JT. Honestly, I'd rather just go somewhere else, JT. I'm ready to reset this whole freaking thing.
So you want to retool or rebuild?
I agree with you on JT. I think what I'm saying about actions and words lining up is that he's saying we have a championship team, and he obviously doesn't want to get there. I would almost like to retool. Like JT can go, Ranger is gone. We have so many question marks, including our starting rotation, that this season is really going to be up in the air, and they've already damaged the fan base. We don't want to buy in again.
No, it's hard. It's like if this is year one of, wow, this is a good year, and the Phillies, you're fine with it. But then when your World Series loss, NLCS disaster collapse, loss to the Mets, loss to the Dodgers last year, making the playoffs ain't squat, man. That's not doing it. We could actually feel like you've improved the team. That was my biggest thing, Cousin Ryan, and I appreciate it.
Great call.
But my head exploded after that press conference because I wanted to hear, it's okay to say we were that close. And if this goes this way, maybe we win the series. If that goes this way, maybe we win the game. It's okay to say that, but also at the same time saying, I have to do a better job. I have to figure a way to make us better. I have to do this. I have to do that. Put it on yourself to say we still need to be better.
Yeah.
And that was not what he said.
No, not even close to what he said.
Here's what he said. Here's Dave Dombrowski.
It's a fine line. And really, if you look back, and we've talked about it here, and this is not blaming anybody, right? It's the happenstance of how the game goes. The Dodgers, they didn't make very many mistakes. Probably game 4. Muncy misses that ball at third base. We score 8 runs. We outscored the Dodgers in the series, right?
Oh, my God. You kidding me?
There's more, but just let yourself react to that.
Real fast.
Oh, my God. It's not a cumulative how many you score in the series.
Jason, I love Dave Dombrowski a lot, and what he says isn't wrong. I almost wanted to fight him when he was doing this press conference. I hated what he was saying so bad. All right, go ahead. Continue.
Make any difference. You lost 3 games. But when you look at home plate, if Trey's throws on this side of the plate, on a very difficult play, versus that side of the plate, they don't score any runs at any. That's the difference.
If on Trey.
Kirk makes that play in there, who knows what happens the next inning, right? They were struggling to score runs against us just as much. JT had told me that immediately the umpire apologized for missing the call strike 3, right? Everybody's written on it. He makes that call strike 3, they don't score a run. So that's how fine a line it is, can be.
Dodgers
Fine
don't make it a
line.
fine line.
Fine line.
Are you kidding me with that?
I didn't remember I didn't remember
He's
how
so
he
out of
said
touch.
fine line, but that's awesome.
He is
Really
so
was.
out of touch.
And that's what he said after the series. And I want the Howie Roseman. Can we have Howie Roseman? We have the urgency Howie Roseman. This is a dude and Dave Dombrowski's a future baseball Hall of Famer. Howie Roseman's a Hall of Fame GM. He has won 2 Super Bowls in less than 10 years. He's been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years. They won 11 games this year. They lost in the playoffs. Here's Howie Roseman yesterday.
Not good enough. You know, if it doesn't end with confetti falling on our head, I don't feel like it's good enough. I know that we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year. I think I know that from a broad perspective, but I believe we can, you know, and I go into every offseason thinking we're going to do whatever it takes to win a Super Bowl. And when we fall short, I look at myself, I look at the things that I could have done different, and I look to improve. And that's where I'm at right now.
And give me Dave right away. Right away on it. After
I
Howie.
mean, it's a fine line. And really, if you look back, and we've talked about it here, and this is not blaming anybody, right? It's the happenstance of how the game goes. I mean, the Dodgers, they didn't make very many mistakes. Probably game 4. Muncy misses that ball at third base. We score 8 runs. We outscored the Dodgers in the series, right?
That's all I need. Yeah, Jay, they outscored the Dodgers.
Oh, my God.
Meanwhile, Howie said, and he said it perfectly. We know we're not going to win the Super Bowl every year, which you're not. You're not going to be able to do it every year. But it doesn't mean you don't have that empty feeling when you don't, and you're not striving to do that every single year.
And I'm going to do everything I can to put us in a position to do that. Yeah, it's not going to work out sometimes. You're going to have injuries. You're going to fall short. But he's going to go out there, and it's not good enough to be good. He wants to. A lot of people say they want to win. Everybody wants to win. But are you willing to do what it takes to win it? And what Howie said is, it's not a successful year unless there's confetti on my head.
And like I said, they didn't set out in the offseason to say, you know what, JT may not be the right move. We should be targeting Bregman or Bichette. It fell into his lap. They fell into their lap. Now, they ultimately didn't sign him, but still, if JT takes the contract and they offered him a 3-year contract, are they nuts? 3 years for south of $45 million. If he takes that contract, we're never talking about Bichette.
Yep.
I have fans that are complaining on social media, and I'm defending the Phillies ownership because is it really realistic for them to spend like the Dodgers do, where if you sign a player for $40 million a year, you're paying $80 million a year? No, of course not. It doesn't matter. The reality is that the Mets just gave this player $42 million a year, and the Phillies said no. They got outbid by the Mets.
Yeah, they got outbid. The owner wants to win, but not that much.
So we were supposed to have James Palmer, noted NFL insider, on Middays with Marks, and we bumped him. But what did he say about the Bichette thing?
So I think something's going down in the NFL right now. I don't know what it is.
Oh, is he pushing? He pushed us back anyway?
He pushed us back. He was pushing us back, and he was saying he was tending to coaching matters. So
someone's getting hired?
I don't know if someone's getting hired, someone's getting interviewed, but I just keep the notifications on for James Palmer because he didn't even give me the response of the Bichette take.
He's working.
Bichette take. He's working.
He's working.
Or he's just living about. I would love to live in the world where he's just so mad about Bichette he decided to cancel the hit.
Before the end of the show, we're going to get breaking news that the Eagles rehired Brian Johnson.
And Kevin Patullo is being demoted.
This is the greatest thing that could happen to Kevin Patullo.
And Vic Fangio's retiring. What's next?
Oh, my God. 610-632-0975. Ray, the win totals, because so far you've shared some win totals. Some people saying 82, some people saying 81, which would be 500. It wouldn't make the playoffs. I still think they're upper 80s to
like 88.
88.
Yeah, it's about right.
90.
Under the 91
Depending.
and a half.
But for the first time, I think not even make the case. You can make a legitimate argument how the season goes wrong. And it's only an injury or two of the pitching staff, and it could go to hell. What are most people saying?
4 wins for the Phillies. 1 for each crappy outfielder we currently have on our roster. Bichette to the hated Mets. Tucker, the dynasty Dodgers. Major League Baseball needs a salary cap and a floor. 2027 is going to be a lockout. I'm going to cry and fight someone, worst case scenario.
Well, you can look for a fresh video for me coming up here on YouTube. Philly's hot stove.
Well, you don't have to abide by the FCC
Later
obligations
tonight.
there.
No, I don't. Wow, what a gut punch. I was even bragging before the show. I'm like, I was on the air when Bryce Harper signed, and I was envisioning in my head saying, we have breaking news. Bo Bichette's a Philly, and it runs on the station, big promos on YouTube. Meanwhile, Ray comes in, and I knew right away, it's like, he didn't seem all that happy about this breaking news. I knew it was Bichette breaking news based on how you introduced it.
Yeah, I wasn't thrilled. I almost wanted it to be wrong. I was really hoping that I was reading it wrong, and I was like,
Who broke it first?
It was Will Salmon from, he covers the Mets for The Athletic. Rosenthal retweeted it. That's how it got to me. Yeah.
So you were hoping it was a fake Ken Rosenthal or a fake Will Salmon.
I was hoping Rosenthal got duped. Yeah,
I remember there was a Jason Stark.
Oh, he got duped.
There was a Jason Stark that back when you used to do the fake Twitter accounts.
Yeah.
It wasn't Jayson, how Jason spells it. It was Jason Stark.
How I spell it.
And somebody I forget what the rumor was, but it was something, and everybody started retweeting it. And we broke the news on the air and everything.
And then it was totally fake.
A darn Schefter was one of those guys.
Yeah.
Before. All right, Keith and Sharon Hill, we'll start with you on the other side, 610-632-0975. Your reaction, Bo Bichette signs with the New York Mets.
This is bad. This is very, very bad.
We have a good club. Middays with Marks, 97.5 The Fanatic.
That's right, it stinks! Now, on 97.5 The Fanatic Sports Update.
Oh, what a disaster. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. If the Eagles' season being over wasn't enough, and listening to Sirianni and Howie Roseman talk this week about what comes next for them, now you got the gut punch of Bo Bichette not just not being a Philadelphia Philly, he's a New York Met, signing a 3-year, $126 million contract today with the Mets. He's got opt-outs after each of the first 2 seasons, and he's got a no-trade clause. He'll play third base for the New York Mets, and he'll play the Phillies 12 times next season. The Phillies lose out the guy they have been the favorites for over the last couple of weeks, and now have to pivot this offseason. We'll see where exactly they go, whether it's spending that money on JT Realmuto or trying to find something else late in this offseason. But as the stove continues to heat up, the Phillies still have a very similar-looking roster going into this season. Elsewhere in town, the Flyers lost 6-3 to the Penguins last night. The 76ers host the Cavaliers tonight at 7 o'clock. This update is brought to you by the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5TheFanatic.com.
big-time power. He'll be a free agent at the end of the season.
Oh, we have breaking news, and this is the news that could break you.
And it's gone!
Your fears have been realized.
Another home run in this game for Bo Bichette.
We got
Great cash,
right
homie.
now reporting that the Mets and Bo Bichette have agreed to a 3-year deal pending a physical.
The Kyle Tucker contract screwed everything. Well, that was breaking news right at 12 o'clock. 90 minutes later, we have more breaking Phillies news. According to Matt Gelb and Ken Rosenthal, free agent catcher JT Realmuto is close to re-signing with the Phillies.
Any detail on term?
I don't care. If they give him a 3-year contract with what he was asking, I'm going to leave the air today. And I'm not going to be a Phillies fan for a day. If they give JT Realmuto a 3-year contract, what he was asking for before, or they give him more money, I might put my head through one of these walls. Remember when the Cubs put Eric Camille through a wall, or was it the other way around?
Yeah.
I'm going to do that with myself. Literally.
Unbelievable.
So now,
well, hopefully Ken Rosenthal is wrong again.
Hang on a second. Last night around, what was it? Probably 11 o'clock, midnight, whatever it was. They thought 10 o'clock. They thought they had an agreement with Bo Bichette. According to reports, they agreed to a 7-year, $200 million contract.
Yep.
So what time did they realize that they weren't getting the player? 11:30? What time did the Phillies realize they weren't getting Bo Bichette? 11:30?
Probably,
it came out at 12
probably
o'clock.
this morning.
It came out at 12 o'clock. So what did they do? Immediately call JT Realmuto and say, okay, JT, let's come to that. Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's the contract. Awesome.
We got details.
Oh, we do. Okay. Give us the deets.
Bob Nightingale. The Phillies have reached an agreement on a 3-year, $45 million contract with catcher JT Realmuto with $5 million worth of incentives. So he has a way to get himself to that $60 million mark.
Well, that'd be 50, but
well, I would imagine 5 per year.
Oh, per year, maybe in total. Yeah. You just gave a 35-year-old catcher a 3-year contract after a month of saying no. You gave him what he wanted. You gave him a 3-year, $45 million contract after losing out to Bo Bichette. You think that the fans are going to think that's a good deal? You just, instead of saying, you know what?
Pacify us?
But you know what? Instead of saying what? Hang on a second. We lost out on Bo Bichette. Let's take a deep breath. What else can we do? They're limited in how much money they have. That's the whole reason they weren't going to sign JT Realmuto. Let's not overreact. Let's not make a move on JT right now. Let's not overreact. And maybe there's a trade we can make. We realized that signing Bo Bichette, we were doing that because our team wasn't good enough and he made us better. But instead, they come to a contractual agreement and they give him the money he was looking for originally.
Double down on running it back, which wasn't good enough, but they were close.
They gave JT Realmuto a 3-year contract after all this time of not giving of playing. I don't even going to say playing hardball, of not bidding against themselves. Sorry, I'm getting multiple insiders saying that there wasn't a strong contractual offer out to JT Realmuto, and Jim Bowden said he doesn't know of a landing spot. Jim Salisbury said that there's a couple places he obviously would have a landing spot. Is there anybody offering him a 3-year contract?
No.
Are the Phillies insane? Giving him a 3-year contract after all this? There's no market for him. You gave a 35-year-old catcher $15 million a year for 3 years? What? After they didn't want to do it the whole time? Now you're actually like, oh my God, do you not? I have words that I want to use that I could get away with the FCC that I don't want to use. I'm not going to do it. Let's start with a P. Are you serious? You just got strong-armed and give JT Realmuto the contract he wanted? You were dumb for giving him a 3-year contract anyway if you offered that.
Yep.
Are you crazy? You lose that on Bo Bichette and you signed a 35-year-old catcher to a 3-year contract? Who, by the way, in my opinion, has treated this entire process, he was completely disrespectful to the Phillies. The Phillies were offering him a contract that wasn't available from anybody else. And all I hear from JT is he doesn't want to be disrespected, and he's the best catcher in baseball for 10 years. Oh, you're not anymore, JT. Oh, my God. Incentives on top of it? Not only the contract, which pisses me off. Oh, well, you can reach incentives. How about the whole contract be incentives? Jesus Christ. I can't believe they did this.
This is a horrible day for the Phillies. It was bad, really bad, when Bichette spurned.
You know
and
what?
the Mets swooped in, but this is doubling down, making it worse.
I would have given a JT. You know what the contract I'll offer with JT? I'll offer you $5 million for a year. Otherwise, go. See ya.
Yeah, get out.
And then you got to figure out a way to improve this team.
Yeah. Whether that's through trade or whatever.
610-632-0975.
We got a good ball club.
I can't believe that they
good club.
that quickly. But what did JT say to him? I'm going to go sign with somebody else if we don't sign now. He ended up bullying them into getting a contract he wanted.
Once he got the leverage, he got what he wanted.
Yeah, man, I don't see it as leverage because no one was giving him more money than the Phillies, and no one was giving him more years than the Phillies.
Well, they negotiated against themselves.
Oh, my God.
He was waiting in the lobby.
Mad Mike with his reaction. Mad Mike, hello.
Hey, how we doing today, guys? Summer. Can't wait for the summer.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
You happy?
You're welcome. I mean, like, to be fair, when you let the panderer in chief be your de facto GM, like, and all his best friends get contracts, and you've spent money poorly, and now you can't afford to go toe to toe with the Dodgers. I mean, it's your own stupid fault.
You're not wrong.
I mean, like, honestly, this is why you don't let the inmates run the asylum, and they didn't, and now they're screwed. And I mean, the window is closed on this team. It's over.
You might be right.
There's,
the window didn't get any more open.
As Dave Dombrowski has said, this is a good club. But you know what?
Club.
He
Not
hasn't
good enough.
He hasn't done anything to improve this club other than a couple of bullpen's arms.
Yeah.
Period. The lineup's not good enough. It's not. Alec Boehm or probably the guy with the worst approach at the plate, Garcia, or your cleanup hitter behind Bryce Harper. It's not. The Phillies got outbid by the Mets, and they just allowed JT Realmuto to more or less slap him across the face with the back of his
Hold
hand.
him hostage.
Yeah, I would have told JT to beat it.
Yeah, I would have too.
Just out of spite.
3
Listen,
years?
Listen, he's a spiteful person. You never met me. All right? Spite. 3 years, $45 million, and then you're going to pour the salt in the wound of incentives? Oh, what? So if you hit 12 home runs next year, you get more money? You're going to be kidding me. Unbelievable.
It's baseball season,
And you know
boys.
what? This dude better play 155 games a year for the next 3 years.
Yeah, right. At 35?
I mean,
Yeah, your ass is itching. No way.
Why couldn't he have just signed in December and we wouldn't have been through this entire thing? We'd be talking about the Eagles today.
Well, at least we have
Why?
at least we have the Eagles game to distract us. Oh, wait.
Why? JT down that. Now, see, JT screwed us. We thought Tucker screwed him. The Mets screwed him. JT, you have screwed us because if you agree, and Phillies, you ultimately screwed us. If you agree to a contract back in December, we're not in on Bo Bichette. We don't have eyes for Bo Bichette. We're not negotiating with Bo Bichette. We're not thinking Bregman could be the case. We're not saying maybe Ranger Suarez comes back. They lost out on it all. Oh, my God. Could this be any worse? Ray, we started the day thinking
We were going to celebrate.
Bo Bichette's going to sign while we're on the air. Ray's going to be walking to work. How am I getting to spring training this year? I got to get down to spring training this year. Oh, the beginning of the season. I'm thinking opening day. Where are we going to be to do the show? Oh, my God.
You were so confident you wore that ridiculous outfit.
That might have been what set this all in motion.
By the way, like Ricky's being mean to me about the outfit. Silvana wasn't mean like Ricky. But
As bad as your outfit is, it's not even close to being the worst thing today. This is one of the worst weeks in Philly sports in a long time.
Hey, we've got Eagles news. Offensive coordinator Zach Robinson is interviewing today in Philadelphia for the offensive coordinator job. So there you go. There's your Eagles news for today.
Oh, a failed Falcons offensive coordinator?
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep. Hey,
Right.
it could be worse. They could hire him.
No, they should. Yeah, they could. I mean, listen, I didn't really track the offensive.
Strong
By the end of the
Robinson.
show, he'll be hired.
Yeah.
If he can bring Bijan Robinson with him, that'd be a good move, but I don't think he can.
Bring Pitts home. Need a tight end to replace
Maybe we should
Goddard.
just leave the air now before anything else bad happens.
I like that idea.
What are we doing next?
I mean, we do have a YouTube chat recap, I assume.
YouTube chat recap, but we also have people, I believe Nate put it together, of people's reaction to my clothes. To my Nike camo jumpsuit. That's coming up next. Middays with Mars, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Kincade and Salciunas.
JT than I am Boba Fett. It's taken me. And
puts you over the edge.
But Bo Bichette was a kick in the gut. The Phillies having that little respect for themselves as an organization to go and give JT Realmuto a 3-year contract after he, with no market, had held the Phillies hostage to where that's how you get to Bo Bichette, and that you give him a 3-year cut with incentives. Are you serious? For a declining player? Are you serious? You know the biggest winner of the day? It's JT Realmuto.
Absolutely.
He won.
Look at the deal he got.
Okay, well, Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette. But Bo Bichette, all right, so here's the Phillies. They got outbid by the Mets, and the Mets essentially gave $126 million on 3 years to Bo Bichette with opt-outs. $42 million. If you would have done a similar contract with Bo Bichette, I bet you he takes the deal here, not in New York. All right, so you got outbid by the Mets, outmaneuvered by the Mets, after you thought you had an agreement with Bo Bichette last night, right? So you got outmaneuvered, outbid by the Mets. Then you pivot within, an hour? You cave on JT Realmuto's demands for 3 years. You give him 3 years and $45 million and an additional $5 million in incentives. At that point, if I do want to bring JT back, which is understandable, it's, hey, you're still going to have to prove to us that you have a market that demands a 3rd year for such and such money. Nobody has suggested that anybody was offering anything close to that to JT Realmuto.
Not a single report from Rosenthal, Nightingale, anybody.
So now you're going to have to go out and get that deal, and if you don't come back to us for us to give us another proposal, then that's up to you.
A right to match or whatever.
Right. Like, we still want you, but we're not going to give you a contract just because you want a contract. They gave him the contract.
Yeah. What a day.
Let's go to Landon. Landon in Percy. Landon, what do you got?
What are you doing, guys?
I'm not good, man.
Yeah, I've heard. But I'm right there with you guys. I mean, 3 years, $45 million for Realmuto, absurd. You could have easily given him 2 years, and instead of the 45, drop it to those that are incentives if he can play good. But $45 million for 3 years? I mean, seems a little absurd.
I just, Landon, for me, and this Jason Stark's going to be on with the guys this afternoon. This is going to be really interesting. Jason had said on the show before that JT wants the respect. He wants to be paid. And he doesn't want to be paid this because that's what the market dictates. He wants to be paid what he believes he's worth. In other words, the market's not going to determine the contract. JT's going to determine the contract. That's not the way it works.
No. Market value.
And if that means the player's going to leave, then the player can leave.
Yeah.
The Phillies aren't made or break. Don't make it or break it because of JT Realmuto. I'm sorry. Are they better with him than without him? Yeah, that's fine.
But it's marginal.
But it's marginal. That's the whole reason they wanted to get Bo Bichette. They decided that they were better without him than with him.
Yes.
Jesus. All right. Do we want to do that? What are we doing, Ray? Are we doing YouTube chat recap and all that?
Yeah,
we can finish on some phone calls. All right, there's time for phone calls before we get out of here. Time for the YouTube chat recap.
It's time for the YouTube chat recap.
How about filling us in? Let me tell you something else, man.
Watch us live on YouTube every single weekday.
I can't lie. Let me tell you something.
It's the Middays with Marks YouTube chat recap.
I got
John looks like he's about to go deep cover at a Bass Pro Shop. If Bayless from the YouTube chat.
All right.
Yeah, you look like you got the Bass Pro Shop uni on.
I could go fishing.
Yeah, just gonna get you a Bass Pro Shop name tag. You're working in the hunting supplies.
Yeah, not. You probably never see me with a Bass Pro Shop hat. You know, the hats are stylish.
Yeah.
You know, I've never I'm not a fisherman. I can count how many times on one hand I've been fishing.
What do you hate about fishing? Taking the fish off the hook?
My dad wasn't a fisherman, so he never took me fishing.
Oh, okay.
My grandfather took me fishing once. It was a horrible experience, so I never did that again.
Have you ever been to the massive Bass Pro Shops in Memphis?
No.
Oh, gotta go.
Why?
Must-see attraction. It's just it's a massive pyramid they turned into a Bass Pro Shop.
It's just an experience?
It's an experience. It feels so out of place. It used to be their arena. Now it's a big Bass Pro Shops.
Really?
Yeah, it's awesome.
Huh. No, sorry. I wasn't in Memphis to do that.
Well, I don't know. You've been to a ton of places. You lived in Hawaii.
It's redneck heaven, man.
It really is. And I'm not a redneck, and I loved it.
I love it. I am a redneck.
I love the show, The First 48. A lot of times they're in Memphis.
I love that show, too.
So I feel like I know Memphis more than the average person.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Why are John and Martinez dressed like Jay and Silent Bob go bison hunting? Mar from the YouTube chat.
Well, I just wore my Eagles salute to service shirt.
Yeah,
Sweatshirt.
it's totally coincidence. Yours is
Yeah.
actually a really cool camo to wear.
Yeah,
I'm
this-
the one dressed like a camouflaged MC Hammer.
Yeah, this is the one from the 2017 season. I love this sweatshirt.
I love it too. It's great.
Yeah, it's showing a little wear and tear, but we got to update it.
It's more brown than green. I'm more of a green camo than but it's not nice item.
Brown? Where the hell are you seeing brown?
Don't you agree? Right?
This is green, bro.
Yeah, it looks green.
It looks in these lights maybe a little brown.
All right.
Maybe.
Well, it's the fluorescent light.
It's a darker green.
Yeah.
Than your green. You're a little bit brighter.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
your,
all right.
your camo's not as camoed as mine.
All right. What's next?
Overwhelming favorites to land Bichette, they said. Neil from the YouTube chat.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, if you're talking about us, Neil.
Underwhelming day,
All right.
I said.
Then why don't you group us in with every other freaking insider in the world? Because they all said it. And then I came in today, and what did I say, Ray?
You were worried.
I was worried that Kyle Tucker contract could come back and squeeze the Phillies, and it did. The Mets, JT. Hey, listen, JT won the day. I lost. Right, everybody's making fun of my clothes.
No,
I'm
we
getting
all lost.
insulted by everybody. I lost too.
Phillies fans lost today.
Hey, but listen, at least JT got his 3 years. Thank God. Out of spite.
And incentives.
Out of spite, Carantini would be my catcher next year. All right, any more, Ray?
John's jacket is made by Survivalist Choice. D Flyers from the YouTube chat.
Would you? Sometimes I would listen to AM talk radio just to kind of giggle, and a lot of times they would send it to break, and it would be hey, do you have a bunker? You need to get one. Call this company right now to get your bunker at home, and we'll send you information.
Your doomsday bunker.
Right, and then you get the canned goods. So then the next commercial is about the canned goods that'll last you till 2040.
Yeah.
Because if you need to go
The
in the bunker,
MREs.
you need food.
Yeah.
And this food won't just last you 5 years; it'll last you 25 years.
I'm sure it'll taste great.
It goes hand in hand. If you call right now, not only will we get you a bunker, we'll get you food for the next 25 years.
We'll get you a bunker, then we'll stock the bunker.
Correct.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, Ray, what do you got?
John looks like he's about to go to a Delco bar with a tin of Zin. If Bayless.
Do people like that? Are
That's
you
not a tin of Zin.
Are you a
That's
Zin guy?
That's a Copenhagen man right there.
You don't like the Zin, do you?
I've never tried it.
No?
No.
What's the difference between that and...
I don't know.
It's probably safer for you. Doing the regular chaw is bad for your lip.
I don't know. Is Zin more... I don't know. I don't
think
even
it's just. I think it's just to get the nicotine.
Oh, it is? Okay. Yeah, I'm not...
There's no tobacco, right? I mean, Ray would know. He's the smoker.
Right. I'm just a smoker. No, I don't mess with that stuff. Come on. Give me
just
a pack of
smokes it.
cigs. Don't let me bother with that Zin.
He smokes a pack of humps a day.
After
Camel
today?
no-filter hump.
After this show, I need a cig.
I could use a Newport.
You gotta go outside
100.
and steam a nice Newport.
Newport one. I could go for a Newport 100 right
One of
now.
those ones just like 6 feet long.
The magic wand. Oh, I could do the drag. That first drag I would take would be like a quarter of the cigarette. I'd probably throw up.
Yeah, you'd probably pass out. It might have been the best thing for you.
All right, what's next?
John is dressed for a war that he never got drafted into.
Yeah, that's true. Believe me, I'm the last person that should be in combat.
Well, all they got to do is sign
Second to
JT
last.
Realmuto to a 3-year deal and send you off. The enemy's running.
I can't believe they.
Answer that tirade.
I can't believe that they gave JT Realmuto a 3-year contract.
Okay.
I mean, I can't believe how fast they pivoted. Because we even talked about it in the aftermath of Bichette going back to the Mets, or going to the Mets, was, all right, you still have an opportunity to improve your club. Well, actually, I think you were touting it, and I said, no, now they're going to sign JT.
Yeah.
But you were right. They could have very easily said, all right, what were some things we were thinking about doing before? That's where you make a call to, Ray, I don't know. You call a club and say, have you thought about the conversations we've had about this player?
Yeah.
Or about that player?
Well, that's being proactive and having some urgency. Dave Dombrowski clearly has no urgency, did not read the situation, and we're all losers for it.
We have a good club.
Yeah.
Fine line.
It's a fine line in the offseason, man. There's winners and losers, and we got stuck on the wrong side.
So
of that
we're going to
line.
get another if my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle thing from him? If he threw it to this side of the plate?
Well, I can tell you this. The Phillies should know that people are pissed off, and they should be conditioned to, like yesterday with the Eagles. The very strong statement was made with what they were saying that Nick Sirianni very much is an elite coach in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
He's hiring the offensive coordinator. He ain't going anywhere.
Yep.
They did a great job with that yesterday.
Their message was clear, concise, and on point.
Phillies didn't do that with Dombrowski, and I'd be shocked if Dombrowski acted like that, where he comes out with urgency. No, it'll be the same message.
We have a good club.
It'll be the same message.
Yep.
It just will. And I still think they're a good club. I'm not going 82 wins, 83 wins, or anything like that. But I can't believe they gave JT Realmuto a 3-year contract. Of everything that happened today with Bichette, I was even like half defending the Phillies because of the salary constraints with years. They needed to space him out, and Tucker and everything else. Signing JT Realmuto to a 3-year contract and then kicking me in the balls with incentives on top of 3 years is unbelievable.
Yep.
1 o'clock hour brought to you by Morgenstern Hair Restoration. Great teams stick together, so does great hair. Morgenstern Hair Restoration Championship results. Visit morgensternhair.com. 610-831-HAIR. I can't wait to hear Ricky Bo coming up here in minutes.
Jason Stark with them today as well.
Jason Stark, Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo, their reaction, Bo Bichette to the Mets. JT Realmuto back to the Philadelphia Phillies. Everybody have a great weekend. See ya.
Now on
Foundation.org. I'm Ray on your home for the Sixers, Flyers, the best birds talk in town. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
MLB spring training is